Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 14 of the Avocado Gamescast, the Avocado's gaming podcast. I'm Merve, and welcome to 2017. Yay!
Yay!
Oh, okay, sure.
That is PT's way of celebrating, just saying, "Oh, okay, sure." We cured cancer. Oh, okay, sure. Anyway, we didn't actually cure cancer. What we're going to be doing instead of curing cancer is taking a look ahead at the year that's coming in front of us. But before we do that, let's meet the people who are joining me today. First up, he can't resist a good joystick joke, or a good joystick for that matter. It's Science is Bad.
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
And he's the Jason Schreier to my Kirk Hamilton. Yes, that actually is a Suikoden joke. It's PT.
I'd like to thank the listeners and the people who do the podcast and everything who does the Gamescast because we do a great service for us all. Oh, and kill the animals.
Oh, yeah.
That is a reference to Awesome Games Done Quick, which is currently happening right now, which we should be watching, but instead we're recording a podcast because we don't have our priorities straight.
And they've already killed the animals once because they did a Super Metroid weird ROM hack where they it was like basically Super Metroid, but they rotated the screen 90 degrees, which made the map kind of weird.
Yeah, and if you rotate anything 90 degrees, it looks kind of weird.
And so basically, when they did the ending, it's like, what's the total? Oh yeah, kill is ahead. Yeah, okay, let's just kill the animals. I'm sure that will be very different tomorrow night.
Oh, is save ahead now?
It's been pretty close anyway.
It's always neck and neck every year. I'm surprised that it always is neck and neck.
It's kind of funny because I'm just I'm sending $1,000 because this is my yearly tribute to my friend who passed away from cancer. Oh, kill the animals. It's just sudden.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, great cause. It's just kind of funny when to hear the donation messages. But definitely, if you have the chance, you should donate to AGDQ and the Prevent Cancer Foundation because they're cool people. Of course, by the time you hear this, AGDQ will be over. So donate to the Prevent Cancer Foundation anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So we briefly discussed AGDQ. How are you guys doing?
I mean, beyond I'm actually okay. I'm actually pretty okay today. Actually, we're doing fine.
And Science, how are you doing?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful weather. I'm freezing to death, but I'm doing great.
I'm glad to hear that. It's pretty warm where I am. Unseasonably warm, actually. Or so it was yesterday, but today it's a little cooler. So the holidays just happened. We, made it through the cold. We spent a lot of time indoors playing video games, I'm guessing. Unless you guys have actual lives, friends, families.
I had a job I started a couple weeks ago, but beyond that, yeah, I tried playing some video games.
Yeah,
Sure.
See, you have a job and you have video games. You don't need friends or family.
Sometimes,
at least you have the need. You spend time with your family once a year, and that's all you need. You cross off the list, and you're like, I'm good for another 364 days. So, do you guys get any? Speaking of family, do you guys get any games as Christmas gifts or Hanukkah gifts or Kwanzaa gifts or some other sort of holiday gift?
No, thank God, no. I never asked for video games for my Christmas things because people would get very confused and buy the wrong thing.
Not really either. Mostly because, as a whole, my family has been kind of separated. I mean, not by blood or anything, but just by distance.
Okay.
Like I'm here in the Midwest, and my parents are happily retired now in Arizona, and my older sister's in New Orleans for some reason, and it's very weird. Because I had started this job, I couldn't really meet up with them anyway. So yeah, we just try to communicate via phone and all that fun stuff. But no video game gifts whatsoever. They're usually good enough these days just to give me gift cards to things.
Yeah, sure. Here's a Steam gift card, go buy your own video games kind of thing.
Oh yes.
Which I think is really thoughtful because I get a taste for really weird video games, so people don't really know what I want, and I often don't buy stuff that's on my wish list because I just buy stuff that I just impulse buy stuff that looks interesting. So it's really hard to buy video games for me.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, are you the person that always takes part in those hyper Neptunia, sales every 7 days?
I play a lot of weird Japanese games. I've never played a Neptunia game before.
And I'm glad you didn't, because those things feel sad. Actually, I've never played them myself, but just looking at them, like,
They look kind of interesting to me. I like the premise, but they're just so cheaply made that I might as well play a better JRPG.
Oh, right.
Man, I know nothing about this.
The Neptunia series. So the premise is that all the characters in the game are like these moe girls who are supposed to represent various video game consoles, and they're in the land of game industry. But,
yes.
Right.
You know who did that better was Sega Gaga for I think it was the Dreamcast or the Saturn. I think Dreamcast. But yeah, that was the game where Sega was failing and you had to save Sega. It was kind of like a weird business management / JRPG, I guess.
So I mean, that sounds more like an actual.
And I go on a date with a Dreamcast.
I think you can. I'm not sure.
And
Well, actually, I don't think you
something
can.
else to the Dreamcast.
Sorry, because basically every character in those games is female. That's
Okay.
not that would necessarily prevent you from going on dates, but it's already like a sort of moe romance not romance RPG, like a moe sort of cute girl RPG. And layering the lesbian thing on top of that, I don't know if that would fly with.
I mean, this is very strange. If I was making this game, some of the characters would be male and some of them would be female. I mean, an Xbox is obviously like a guy, like a frat bro. Like,
of course, yes.
Yeah, like these things write themselves. You're missing so many things by making all of them female.
Right, and then there's this storyline about how the Xbox is actually secretly unconfident and insecure, and that's why he presents this macho facade. And then the Wii teaches him that he can have fun every once in a while.
Oh, come on. You're better than that.
This is a heartwarming story here.
The original Xbox was kind of a great example of we're trying really hard to be extreme. The green and the giant X and
extreme.
Yeah, I like that shade of green. I don't know why they had to ruin it to make it all like, as sign says, extreme.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's right. We're breaking out the funky voices. This is going to be a train wreck podcast, so.
Oh, cool.
I'm just going to let it happen.
Come on, man.
It's a me, Mario. What was that?
It's a me, Mario.
It's like Charles Martinet there all of a sudden.
Yeah, I can't do the Martinet voice that well.
It's a me.
So do you guys get any interesting games over the holidays? If not as gifts, then just buying them for yourself because of Steam sales and the like.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird sales, not just Steam's, but that just obviously a lot of people were just like randomly dropping stuff that had been only out for a couple months and saying, "Hey, $15, go get it."
Yeah. So
Sure.
did you get anything?
Oh, for example, on the $15 side, I actually got Rise of the Tomb Raider, the PC version, for $15.
Oh wow, I didn't know it had gone that cheap.
It was like a GameStop online thing, and there were a couple other things. Square Enix's online site had like this mystery bundle where it was like, pay $8 for these 7 or 8 titles. We're not going to tell you what those titles were, and you can't refund them afterward. So it was just basically why not? Let's have some fun. Let's figure this out. And it actually wasn't a terrible get. It was like, okay, I actually have the list right here because I wanted to write this down. I actually had two copies. One was a Key of Lightning Returns, which I will threaten someone with later. It's a really good game, though. You should probably play it. But yeah, now I have an extra copy of Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 for people. I also have a copy of Tomb Raider Underworld, so I have additional key of that. But then there was like the Hitman 2016 like starter pack. So basically the prologue and the first episode that came there, and plus it also came with a half-off coupon for the rest of the season. So that's like $30 right there.
Cool.
And then we had the 2 Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver games, the PC ports for that. I got Hitman Go, the PC version of that, which is great because it's one of the few mobile games I like, and now I can just play it on PC instead. Actually, if you haven't played like the Go games, like Hitman Go, Lara Croft
Go, Deus Ex Go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Lara Croft is the best one.
Oh, those are really good, by the way. They're really good examples of what the mobile space can do. So I totally recommend those. And I didn't know it was like some, I don't know, it's Gotia, I believe, was the other one. I think that was like some kind of weird horror adventure game, I think, that is part of Square's indie label. They had like a little indie label on PC. I forgot what it's called offhand, but that was that there. Let's see here. Bandai had a 3 for $30 deal, which included like a lot of One Piece titles. So I own more titles from One Piece now.
There are One Piece video games?
Oh, there are lots and lots of One Piece video games.
I don't know why I'm surprised. One Piece has been running for ages.
Oh, forever.
And they're actually, the one I've seen is pretty decent looking.
Yeah, some of them are okay.
Like, are they fighting games or RPGs? What are they?
All of them, really. I mean, and granted, the more recent ones are kind of the fighting ones. They became like the latest in like the Dynasty Warrior stuff. Like there's like now there are like 3 of those. This is just on One Piece, like the Pirate Warrior games. Like now there are 3 of those, which is insane. But no, to that, Hyper Light Drifter, which was another game I purchased up for sale. I bought the Turok PC redo for some inexplicable reason for $5.
Oh boy!
Here's the thing about that. That's not a terrible. It's totally a game from 1996, but it totally doesn't take itself seriously.
No, don't defend Turok.
I am Turok.
It has dinosaurs.
It does, but it's not doing a very good job of making them fun.
It's okay. I mean, granted, there are a lot of problems with that game. It's 1996.
I've never played Turok. I'm just defending dinosaurs.
It's bad. The level design is bad.
It is a very N64 shooter game. Though the updated PC port is actually really, really good. Like it was like a bunch of people that said, "Hey, we're gonna make this weird engine based on just to play Turok," and then they bought the license and then they like just made it from scratch, and the port is pretty good. And
I mean, does it have the fog like 2 meters and you don't see anything?
Oh hell no! It's
actually functional.
It's functional. It's 1080p. It's 60 frames per second.
Well, I mean, Turok 1,
Oh yes.
The original game looked like bullcrap. So
yep, the N64 version was
all the N64 shooters. Like GoldenEye looked like shit too.
I mean, at least you saw more than like 2 feet into distance.
Yeah, fair enough.
And apparently this redone is done so well. They're currently doing the sequel right now for development. So I guess people are interested in buying this stuff. It's like $15 at its normal price, and I paid $5.
Nice.
But 2 more things. Dishonored 2, which I will get to eventually, and kind of thing I want to talk about was actually, I don't know. I'll talk about Hyper Light Drifter another day, but because that was a weird disappointment of an indie game, if you've ever heard of it. But the other game I played was the latest from Way Forward, the Shantae Kickstarted game. Shantae
Half Genie Hero.
Yeah.
How is that?
I think it's the most fully realized game they've done so far. It's good. It's got some really, really great animation. Like now everything is like HD, sort of hand-drawn sprites, and just everything just moves, and it's just so it's absolutely beautiful, which is a good start. And
it really looks like playing a cartoon.
Yeah, it's very much that. And then I think they finally got away some of the rough edges that Way Forward is sort of known for. Though checkpoints are still a little dicey sometimes, but for some reason Way Forward just enjoys, like, they have to do like a bunch of things all in their same games. Like there has to be one sequence where you're running away from a thing and you screw up and oops, you got to start over again. Like they just enjoy doing that for some reason. Or there's
go
ahead.
I was gonna say Ori and the Blind Forest, which is otherwise an excellent game, had a lot of frustrating sequences like that.
I don't know. I liked the whole thing.
No. Well, Ori was kind of fun in that regard because those were more like finger bending. I mean, the Shantae ones is just whoops, you got stuck behind the wall. Time to die, and you're going to start over again. As opposed to
Ori has a little bit of that, but like these chase sequences are a really small portion of the game, but there are I think 3 or 4.
I
of
love them.
Oh, they're great, yeah. But no,
I'm not going to defend them. I actually dislike them, but yeah, I can see why some people would enjoy
but no,
them.
it's that, and there's always like hey, let's make a random side-scrolling shooter at the end of the game, even though it's been basically a platformer the whole game. Things like, and granted, it's super easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, this. I don't think I died once too. So yeah, it's not a particularly difficult game. It's meant for, hey, do you really enjoy this stuff? Do you really enjoy the experience? That stuff. I mean, the usual Jake Kaufman, Vert from the olden times. The soundtrack is fantastic. It's the most realized game they've had, and I definitely hope they continue to make more of those games, Kickstarter or not. So that was kind of, that was, of all the games I played there. Yeah, and right now I'm playing Rise of the Tomb Raider right now, and I'll definitely have more to talk about that later. But yeah, I'm just slowly working through these games when I have time, and I'm not just crazy tired after work, because 9-hour shifts will get to you, actually. I'll just say that right away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine. So, Science, what did you get in your holiday haul?
I just got 3 things because I looked at my library of games and said to myself,
what kind of consumerist are you?
Yeah, right. But yeah.
I got most of those things for cheap too.
yeah. They weren't very expensive. I looked at my games and said, Science, you've got a bunch of shit you need to play anyway. But I really, so because I've got only 3 games, I'm just gonna say what I really, really almost came close to buying, but said, I'll just wait a little bit longer until I don't have any games to play anymore. So I really wanted to buy Virginia, but I decided to wait a little bit. And I really wanted to buy Butcher for PC. I really like how it looks, but I told myself, no, I got plenty of games to play already. So what I did buy was Ratchet and Clank for the PS4.
Nice.
Which seems like a fun times to be had. I really am a fan of Ratchet and Clank games. I played, if not all of them, I think played most of them. I don't think I played two late last entries in the series. I think one of them was like a 4-player co-op shoot.
That was all for one.
Yeah, I didn't play
really
that.
Well, the last one I played was like this weird one they just like did at the end of the PS3. It was Into the Nexus, which is kind of short. It was perfectly solid, perfectly fun. It was just like, I think it was like meant to be like either after or before Quest for Booty and like the weird continuity that is the Ratchet and Clank series.
Yeah, that whole series.
Wait, that series actually has a plot?
Yes, it does, and the continuity is kind of weird. There's this whole thing about Dr. Nefarious and how easy he's
what else did you get?
Okay, well, yeah, and I got Uncharted 4 also. I still haven't played it, but I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played really Uncharted games too much, but I've heard so much about this one, and looking at a video of someone playing a game, I looked at it and said, "Oh, holy shit, this looks like really good."
It does look spectacular. Yeah.
Like the graphics and the motion capture, it's like on a next level thing. Like it's bizarre.
It's an extremely polished game.
Yes, so I'm really looking forward to that.
And what was the last thing you got?
And the last thing I got is a PC thing, a Steam thing, and it's called The Long Dark. And
I've heard of this. It's a survival game, right?
Yes. I'm not a big fan of survival games, but this one has a single player component, and it's like strangely like one of those that really like creates stories. Like people tell stories of their sessions from The Long Dark, and they sound very compelling. The only not so great thing about it is that it's still early access, and I hate buying things in early access. But it was cheap, and they're going to finish it in the next couple of months. So I said, okay, I'll buy it now and play it in like 2 months, and it's gonna be fine. So yeah, 2 of those 3 games I plan to play in the next couple of weeks, and the Long Dark I'm going to play later on when they're gonna finish it.
Yeah, I've only done that once before, purchasing a game in early access, but that's because I knew it was coming out in full release the following week, so I wanted to get it at the early access price. But otherwise, I generally don't buy games in early access.
Yeah, I don't trust that kind of we don't know how the final product is going to look, but if I like what I see at the base level, when I'm getting in, I like what I see. I can justify this purchase to myself. So
yeah, that makes sense.
There's only been a few that have just been. I know it was like Kerbal Space Program was like a really good example of early access.
Yeah.
And Prison Architect apparently was received pretty well as well.
I think Prison Architect wasn't it wasn't that it was very good at the beginning. People were like, oh, it's fantastic. It's like that the designer of the game and the programmer of the game, they made
very responsive. I think.
Yes, very responsive, and every month they made videos about the changes they've made. So it was a whole thing about that. It was very popular.
Oh yeah.
All right. So as for what I got in my holiday haul, if you will, so I got a bunch of gifts from various online gift exchanges. So I got Shadow Warrior, Killer is Dead, D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, Ethan Carter, sorry, not Ethan Carter, 3 Dead Zed, and Contraption Maker. And as for what I bought myself, I bought Inside and loved it. Ben's recommendation last time was spot on. I also bought Virginia, actually. I actually did. I couldn't resist. It turned out to be an interesting experience. I also bought Frog Fractions 2, by which I mean Glittermitten Grove, which is hiding Frog Fractions 2 within it. That was somewhat of an interesting experience. It's obviously not nearly as surprising as the first Frog Fractions, but it was worthwhile in its own right. And I also bought the first 2 Danganronpa games on Steam.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually, I guess, maybe 40 minutes from the end of the first Danganronpa right now. And I really enjoyed it. For those who aren't in the know, it's basically a hybrid between a visual novel and a sort of puzzle minigame style game, with some hidden object components in there as well. The premise is that there are a bunch of students trapped in the school, and the only way they can escape is if they can murder another student without getting caught.
Okay, let me interject here a little bit. Have you played 999?
I have not played 999, but it's on my wish list.
Okay, so basically the designer of Danganronpa and the guy that made 999 are best friends, and each of them had this idea, and they made this idea is basically 999, and they share this idea, and they made 2 completely ridiculously different games with the same idea, basically.
Yeah, I've seen that 999 and the Zero Escapes series is very similar in premise, but different in tone and mechanics for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Danganronpa is actually, I mean, you can see how this sort of thing would go off the rails. Say if the cases aren't good, if it's too easy to figure out who the culprit is, or if the characters are annoying.
It's kind of like Phoenix Wright also.
Yeah, it's very similar to Phoenix Wright from what I've heard. So you can see all these ways that this could go off the rails, but they managed to sort of sidestep all of that and avoid a lot of tropes that you think they're going to go for. They do a nice job of subverting all of those. So I highly recommend it, unless the ending completely sucks.
No, it's okay.
Which I don't think it will, based on what I've played so far. But yeah, highly recommended. So I guess that's what we've been playing over the holidays, what we got. Those are games that are already in hand. Now let's talk about games that we don't have yet because they're not out yet. In particular, last night, we're recording this on January 13th. So last night, on January 12th, Nintendo did their big Nintendo Switch event, where they unveiled their upcoming console would work, as well as some of the games that would be appearing on it. Did you guys? You said earlier you guys watched the press conference, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you guys think?
Like it. I thought there would be more games. Like there's very little games, but from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. I even thought about maybe I'll pre-order it or something, but then like it costs like $300, and I think I'll wait a little bit. But it looked fine.
Like €300 as well.
Probably yes, because it costs like £279 from what I've seen, so that would equate to €300. Probably.
It's like 400 Canadian, I think, which kind of freaked people out.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable considering how far the Canadian dollar has fallen relative to the American dollar over the past few years. I mean, I moved to the United States 6 years ago now, and when I moved, the Canadian dollar and the American dollar were at parity. And now the Canadian dollar is something like 65 cents American.
Ugh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So I picked the right time to move here. In any case, so yeah, I had similar feelings that generally what they showed off was good, but they didn't show off enough of it. And also I think sort of the order of the presentation was wrong. They should have led off with, the big titles, then presented their party games like 1-2 Switch and ARMS, and then gone back to some bigger titles at the end.
Now I think that they should have started with the Zelda thing that they showed at the end. That would have been better, I think.
I think they were trolling people on purpose. Like people were freaking out on Twitter and like everything I was observing. I'm thinking they're showing Zelda. There's no way in hell they're not showing Zelda.
But of course not.
And it's just, and of course it's going to be launched. Like, because I guess my fear, if I wanted to go into this, was I'm really concerned about the launch other than Zelda, which is going to be good enough for a lot of people, including myself, maybe. But so far we have Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and I guess maybe that virtual console rental service, or I don't know if that's 30
and I think the 1-2 thing, that the gunman thing, it also comes.
I'm not sure that was launch, but yeah, that was just like, and I'm kind of thinking to myself like, and then I was thinking to myself about this. I don't think launches are as important as they were back in the day, because everyone has games to play. It's not like, I mean, even the days of the Super NES. In the Genesis, I mean, I think it's because I'm watching one of Jeremy Parrish's many video projects. He recently started one called Mode 7, which is basically kind of a Super NES review of the Western library. And like I think it was like three or four games came out for the Super NES launch. And
right now they have 5 games confirmed for launch: Skylanders Imaginators, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Super Bomberman R, 1-2 Switch, and Just Dance 2017.
Oh god, a Just Dance title.
Yeah, it's very popular apparently.
Oh yes, like maybe with the better motion controls, they'll have like an actual lose feature.
No, probably not.
I mean, the whole point is just to get you moving. I don't think they really care about how well you're moving.
No, they don't.
It's not Dance Central and the like.
They're like hardcore dance games.
Yes, Dance Central was pretty good actually.
All I remember Dance Central was when the E3 press conference happened, and suddenly everyone. That was when the Guile theme goes with everything meme just exploded, because somebody from NeoGAF, I think, just merged the two things, and that just was a huge hit. So I guess that was a meme for a couple months.
Sure.
Yeah, memes always have weird genesis. So what games that Nintendo showed off stood out to you?
I really liked the Mario game.
Yeah.
But then again, I'll be totally honest. I felt the same way when I watched the trailers, like the older games, like the Galaxy games or like Galaxy 2. Usually when I watch those videos, it's just pure concentrated fan service into my brain. It's like I'm going to grin like a giant idiot throughout this whole thing because this is probably going to be super fun. And I know that a lot of people were like giving like real Sonic 2016 vibes from it, especially the fact where Mario was jump roping with actual adults.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I just think that it might give off that vibe for obvious reasons, but what I always see from like when I play Mario games, it always strikes me as like they're very like imaginative. Like you can see that even if in the moments when it's not in the city thing or whatever, it's like there's so much interesting stuff going on with the platforming with the core mechanics. Like there's a lot of like interesting design decisions, like from unique design decisions bound to one level. It was like that in the Wii U Mario 3D World.
3D World.
Yeah. And it was like that in the Galaxy game.
Oh, absolutely. Like the second Galaxy game, you would think, oh, they're just going to do retreads. No, they basically did entirely new stuff, like for an entirely new game, which was just crazy.
And like most of the planets have a unique thing about them, and they don't like wear it out, wear it thin. You know, it's like one and done, and it's such a good feeling to have that in a game that doesn't like have one concept that it just
hammered to the ground.
Yes, for the entirety of the game. So I'm looking forward to that Mario game.
Yeah, I think they've really. I mean, I wasn't totally sold on the urban portions of the game either.
Yeah.
But what they showed in sort of the traditional Mario levels, first of all, it looks gorgeous.
Yes.
And second of all, it seems like they haven't lost their imaginative spark.
It's gonna be like more of an open world, kind of like via Mario 64, rather than like the concentrated galaxies of the later games, or.
Yeah, so it's looking more like 64 Sunshine. That's the design philosophy. So you have objectives to complete in these large open levels with intricate sort of interlocking platform sections.
And one more thing about it, sorry, just remember that what I thought when I was looking at it was like, oh my god, thank god it's not multiplayer, because as much as I liked Mario 3D World on the Wii U, most of the levels had a very weird feeling about them, like they designed it for like multiplayer, like couple of people, and I was very glad that this looked like a solo adventure thing.
Yeah, it's nice when they can support multiplayer, but if you design around it, it shows. Even if it's still fun in single player, it definitely shows when something's designed for multiple people.
I just don't understand that, because like one of the things I've been sort of playing like off and on was the Super Mario Brothers, a new Super Mario Brothers Wii. It was like the Wii version, like the second game in that series, and that game is like kind of hard enough and weird and flaky with one player. It's got to be pure chaos with four.
Oh, it totally is.
And you that game has collision with multiplayer.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you can just grief people and knock them into lava?
Yeah, you can pick them up and knock them around. Yeah.
It must be really funny to see Toad picking up Mario and throwing him.
It is very humorous.
Yeah. So there are a couple of other games that caught my eye. First of all, Splatoon 2 looked neat, just like the original Splatoon.
It looked exactly like the original Splatoon.
It did, but in a way that's sort of a good thing.
I mean, I love the original Splatoon. I love it, but yeah, it really looked like they didn't change maybe enough of things to.
Yeah, maybe there'll be more innovation in. I'm hoping and supposing that there will be a single player campaign, and maybe that's where they'll innovate this time.
Oh,
but
hopefully.
Who knows? Also, missed opportunity to call it SPLA2N.
Oh God,
You're a monster. You're a monster.
That was all over my feed last night, and
yeah, why did they not call it that?
Come on, man! Don't do this. It's like with the Thief series.
But it actually fits. It's not like when they wanted to call Thief the Fourth.
The Fourth.
You remember it, the Fourth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not well thought out.
Yeah.
I mean, changing the name just to Thief didn't make it a good game, mind you.
Fear 3 had a for 3 or something.
For 3.
Well, that made more.
That makes sense in a Lead Speak sort of way.
No,
It's not the
no,
fourth.
no.
And even when they just changed the name Thief, it still ended up being a shitty game. But at least it was a shitty game with a name that made sense.
You're forgetting one of the ultimate ones was Driver 3. And that game was shit. I mean, I haven't played it.
Was it like Driv 3?
Lots and lots. Oh yeah, the 3 was the E. The 3 was the E at there.
As it usually is.
Has there ever been a good game that used that naming convention? Ever?
I don't know. Fear 3 was okay, I guess.
Okay, I mean, I haven't played the Fear series, so I'll take your word for it.
It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay.
Has there ever been a great game with that naming convention?
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm going to say no. So maybe Nintendo wanted to avoid the curse.
Yes, maybe
and
so.
naming this Splatoon 2 instead of Splatoon was the right choice.
Well, Splatoon 2.
Spelunking.
That makes more sense than say, like, I mean, I have never played Red Dead Redemption, but even I'm bothered by Red Dead Redemption 2 based on the fact I've been spoiled thousands of times over by the ending to that game. Like, why is that 2?
Yeah, I was hoping they'd go for something else with an R in it. Like, they had Red Dead Revolver, then Red Dead Redemption. I don't know, maybe Red Dead Resuscitation? I don't know.
That's a trauma center game. That's not a Red Dead Redemption game.
They should merge those two franchises and just make, like, a first aid game where you're out on the range and you have to treat wounds and diseases with the tools and medicine of that time.
Can I come back to the letters replaced by numbers in title thing?
Go ahead.
Sure.
There's like 30 games with that concept.
Oh, you've looked up a list?
Yes, and most of them are bad.
See what I tell you? It's the sign of a shit game.
There's Mahjong Cubed with an E for a 3. There's Left 4 Dead I wouldn't count. That's cheating.
It's also Left 4 Dead sucks anyway. So yeah.
Silent Hill Origins with a 0. Like, there's a bunch of things that are not very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably gonna get some hate for saying Left 4 Dead sucks, but Left 4 Dead does suck. It's terrible. I'm sorry.
Come on.
That was a fun run actually for AGDQ, where it was basically, hey, let's play co-op and just shoot our 2 buddies before the damn thing even starts.
I gotta watch this run now.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead's probably, it's fun to watch people play it. It's just such a boring game to play. Speaking of games that might actually be fun to play, though, Legend of Zelda looking nice.
Yeah,
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about how it's looking. I've never actually played a Zelda game myself. I'm sorry. But this seems like, provided I end up getting a Switch, it seems like a good place to hop in.
It's certainly it's going to be considerably different from the other ones. I mean, the other Zeldas have not been open world, and
I don't know about that. The last one on 3DS was relatively like do what you want and in any order you want to do it.
Right, but that's more of a open in the sense of a series of interconnected areas.
Yeah.
Whereas this is your traditional Skyrim-esque open world.
Yeah, I'm thinking Link Between Worlds for a second here. Link Between Worlds had that a lot of weird ideas like grafted into the Link to the Past world, like the item rental service and how you could basically tag team the dungeons pretty.
I would say in fact that maybe this new game evolved a little bit from those ideas. They kind of experimented with can we make a Zelda game in like open world and how people will take to it, and that was kind of like an attempt at that, like a light open world game kind of thing.
Which that reminds me, actually, another recommendation from the marathon, if people want to go watch it after this is done, is the Ocarina of Time 3D run. The 3D,
that's crazy.
That was just the most broken thing I've ever seen in my life.
That one's crazy.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's hella broken.
Mm-hmm.
So getting back to Breath of the Wild, this is the first Zelda game that's fully voiced, it seems.
I don't know if Link says anything though.
Yeah, we haven't heard Link speak, but this is the first time I guess you're hearing Zelda speak.
Oh
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I know this is an unpopular opinion, but maybe because I'm just old. But I'm just kind of like, I don't. Unless a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Zelda's behind the times because it doesn't have any voice acting," and I'm kind of like, okay, that doesn't really matter. Like, is voice acting going to randomly improve the plot to the Zelda games?
Yes.
I just don't think so. Like, I think it's just going to slow the cutscenes down.
No, it's going to speed the cutscenes up. The cutscenes in Legend of Zelda, especially at the beginning, are so goddamn boring. It's like them saying too much stuff to you. Now they have voice actors, they have to pay them, so they can't have these overly long, complicated, convoluted, boring dialogues that go nowhere. Like, thank God for voice actors and their wages.
So you're saying it's going to help them sort of compress the
Oh,
text and
God,
economize on it.
I was so relieved that they had voice actors. I thought that's the main problem in Zelda games, that they start so it's so boring because they say so much shit to you. Like, oh, thank God for it.
Well, Ocarina of Time is like that, because speedruns always, especially like the broken ones, always start with, okay, well, we got 5-10 minutes of Link waking up in the forest. And then I know Twilight Princess was even worse in that regard.
And the Wii game also, like the Skyward Sword. That one also had this problem. Like, they all had this problem except the 3DS one, because they didn't care about plot too much in that one.
Yeah, I think what they need to take cues from visual novels that get started much faster. I mean, most visual novels have a problem with starting slowly, right? And if you're putting all of the important dialogue and exposition in text that you have to scroll through, you're going to fall victim to the same sort of problems that these visual novels do. But it's possible for a visual novel to start off quickly. Danganronpa being an excellent example of something that gets started fairly quickly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and maybe they should be modeling themselves more after that than after the kind of games that take a while to get going.
I think their problem is that they don't want to really let go of the guided, boring, long tutorial bit where they have to absolutely tell you everything 10 times and makes like they. I know it's made for children, it's not like for all people, like all ages, right? So also children. So they think that, okay, children won't handle like not being guided by us all the time. Like, that's not true.
But you can drip feed it to them.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You can tutorialize throughout the game.
Yeah, I think that's the common thing to do, but Nintendo didn't want to give up on that for some weird reason.
The problem is if you tell everything up front all at once, they're going to forget it because they can't retain all that information. So they're actually being self-defeating.
I don't think the basic things they're telling people at the beginning of Zelda games are going to get forgotten. Like, oh, you can block. You can strike your enemy.
You'd be surprised how much I forget, especially if I don't use a move.
Oh, God, those early Sucker Punch games, the Sly games. I'm just reminded about press the circle button, Sly, to
oh my God,
hey, hang on to the wire. And I'm like, I know, shut up.
What's that character's name? The turtle guy? That's a good impression of him.
Yeah, the turtle guy, yeah.
I don't know the guy's name.
I think it's the turtle guy.
It's Bentley, I think. Was it
Bentley, that's it. I was going to say it's Ben. And it's actually Bentley. Okay, yeah. Bentley the Turtle Man is annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know how to jump, Sly, so now make sure when you hit the circle button that you hit the wire, hit the circle button again. Like, okay, good.
Like, all of the helpers in Zelda games are also annoying, like Navi and all of those. Which I didn't see a helper in this one. That's weird.
That's probably the best.
It's gonna be that stupid talking hat.
God, no.
Talking hat from Mario is going to show up in Legend of Zelda? Wait, did the hat talk in the Odyssey trailer? All I saw was that it had eyes.
Yeah,
they were talking a ton about how that hat and you were going to have a relationship or some nonsense.
It really fucked me up when I realized that Bowser basically killed that guy. like it's not revealed until the end of the trailer. Like, he crushes that hat, and you're like, wait a second, was that thing conscious the whole way through that trailer? That's fucked up, man.
Actually, my favorite reaction from the Switch trailer was everyone freaking out that Bowser was well dressed during the Mario trailer.
He looks like a pimp ass pimp. Like,
That's
look
because
at
he was dressed in. That's his wedding tux for his forced marriage to to Princess
white
Peach.
top hat, man, that looks fly as hell.
He does, yeah, for
And
sure.
he throws the hat at somebody
Yes,
too. That was
and
great.
he throws the white top
I
hat.
thought that hat was gonna turn into like a shuriken. He was just gonna like straight up decapitate some
It was
asshole.
like his odd job from
Yes.
old James Bond movies. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. That's what
Or
Mario
Kung
games
Lao.
need: more blood and gore.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, that would be horrifying. Could you imagine just like stepping on a Goomba and it just exploding into blood and guts?
I'm sure that's
And
been
then
done.
Mario goes to jail for like life sentence. Like, oh yeah, the grim
It's
reality
like
of the
it's a
mushroom.
stack of life sentences. Think of how many Goombas he stomped on.
But think about the physiology of a Goomba. I don't even know if it has a brain.
I mean, it's cephalized. One would assume it has some sort of brain-like structure.
Well, I wouldn't. I don't know how it. Is it?
It's been a long time since I've taken any biology.
Yeah, I don't
if
know.
If Lord
I'm
Stoneheart
not
would
quite
hear,
sure.
he would disabuse us of any imprecise notions we
Funny
have.
thing, it's a fungus,
cephalization.
it's a mushroom. But when I first played it, I thought it was an owl. I thought these guys were owls.
Some of them do have wings. It's not so
and it
far-fetched.
confused me. And they look like have little beaks and like never mind. But it looked like an owl, like the first
I
game.
agree. I think they look somewhat avian.
Yes.
So the other game that looked nice to me was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, the art style is a little bit different. This one seems more like a traditional anime-ish kind of art style as opposed to the more
Yes.
3D-ish thing that they were doing before.
Anime. I don't know. The previous one was also a bit anime, but yes, this one is definitely more in the wake of.
Yeah, this
anime.
one seems like they're actually going for cel-shaded.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
So, a big open world RPG that's not a Zelda might be a good. I'm not going to say it's going to be a system seller, but it might be a good game to have for the platform.
I just think a lot of the other than Zelda, I just feel that boy, it's just going to it's an interesting line. Well, Mario as well, but that's not going to be till a while, I believe. I
think
believe,
holiday 2017. They said.
yeah, it's just like I'm thinking to myself, it's like, okay, well, Zelda's going to move systems, obviously, but like Xenoblade is kind of niche, and then you have those motion games, which might sound fun. I'm actually kind of interested in the ARMS game, just for like how, because obviously they were promising some pretty decent tech, and I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be a catch.
Now, do you guys think they should have waited until the holiday season with this?
I don't know. They might be bleeding too much cash right now that they can't afford to delay it. But then again, it's Nintendo. They're sitting on piles of cash, so that's probably not a good theory. I guess they're hoping that they're releasing Splatoon 2 in the summer, right? So I'm guessing they're hoping that will be a system seller and move units over June, July, etc.
Yeah, I definitely, because it's a hella popular game, and the Splatoon 1, they dropped the support on that. Like, they had these weekly tournaments, and they don't do that anymore, obviously because they're doing the second game. So I bet it's going to sell a lot of copies.
Yeah, so I guess they wanted to split their system sellers over the course of the year. And their system sellers here seem to be Zelda, Splatoon, and Mario.
Which is, those three are pretty solid games. But
Yeah, those are solid
are
tentpoles to have.
Yeah, but there's only three, though.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Metroid can't be a tentpole anymore. Because,
Which is sad.
yeah, it's been so long since they've had, a mainline,
No,
a well-received mainline Metroid game.
I think if they went out and brought a cool-looking Metroid game, people would go nuts.
Yeah, but people go nuts in the West. In Japan, it's never been a hot seller.
Yeah, but who cares about Japan? It's a tiny country. Now, let's talk about the West.
Yeah, I mean, this is Nintendo.
It
All
is
they care about, all they seem to care about, is doing well in Japan.
that is that there that it's a joke, but it's also kind of a vague correctness because I don't even know why. That's why the Switch is basically this weird like console / mobile portable thing that they're pulling, is because I don't know why anyone would try to sell a console in Japan right now. It just.
But have you seen the commercial for it? It's like millennials playing this on a roof, like Western millennials playing this thing on the roof.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, who is the main focus of this thing?
I mean,
the
it's
target
everyone.
audience.
They want to sell it to everybody, right?
Like you said, you try to sell it to everyone. You're selling it to no one, though.
I am very curious how this does.
I mean,
obviously,
PlayStation they tried to sell it to everybody, basically, except little kids, and it's doing fine.
Yeah, that's true. But Nintendo always looks like it has a spin on things, right? It has a target audience, like it with Wii. It had a very strong casual audience, right? With 3D, with a Wii U, it kind of wanted to go in that direction, but also have some of the more like hardcore titles. And then now with this comes out, I'm not quite sure where they're at.
The problem with the Wii U, though, was just like I think they overestimated. Well, I'm going to sound like a real Nintendo defense person here, and I apologize, but I really do feel that they overvalued just people's understanding of how brands worked, because like I really think some of the casual audience just like saw Wii U and said, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
yeah.
they should have just called it a Wii 2.
But
I can guarantee you they'd have like probably 20 or 30% more consoles sold if they just called it a Wii 2.
Yes, probably. But let's also not kid ourselves, and people who bought Wii bought it one off and that's it. They didn't even buy much games for it. Like the sales of the console are through the roof, but the sales of the software were like,
the software attach rate is abysmal.
Buying games.
Yeah. Most people, like on average, people bought 2 games for the system.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, there are a lot of interesting games in that there. I really don't. I mean, I know third parties tried and they tried later, but man, some of that first year or two of third parties was abysmal, and you can't just like. I'm sorry, I know this is kind of an argument that people have. It's like, oh, well, nothing sells third party on Nintendo. Well, they don't really try very quickly, and you kind of poisoned the well. And well, sorry.
I mean, Nintendo doesn't really try to like reach out and let's be honest here, the AAA people like from other companies are looking for like a more powerful console, the console that's like more like popular in the West. Nintendo isn't like their focus. I'm not quite sure if it ever will be their focus.
Right.
Well, as long as Nintendo's not making those kinds of machines, they're not gonna get that.
And basically, if
audience.
they're not making like they like making games for like for all 3 consoles. If Nintendo has this weird spin on it where they have to like have a quasi mobile system, like I as a developer, I don't think I would like want to even go into that. Like I would be like, oh, let's just develop for Xbox and PS4 because I'm sure we can do that. I'm not quite sure what the hell we can do with this Wii thing. I mean Nintendo thing, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's because the consoles are underpowered. Because they don't need to use the second screen for anything. They can just leave that dark.
But they're sacrificing the power by using the second screen, right? So Nintendo is like knows what it's doing. Like it's not going to make a super powerful console, so they're deciding to sacrifice some of the power for a gimmick.
So that's a good move for the games Nintendo wants to put on that console.
Yes.
But in terms of attracting third parties, especially the big guns, the major titles, they're not going to try to downscale their game to work on a console that wasn't designed for them.
Yeah, but also, like, in the case of Wii, like, the Pro Controller wasn't even part of the original package, so you couldn't even develop normal games for that thing.
Right, yeah. at least the Joy-Cons can be, attached in such a way to make something that looks like a regular controller.
The Joy-Cons, god damn it.
That reminds me of like
Nintendo's just needs to be on a mission to make everything that they put out look like a sex toy.
Well, no, those were like the names of that was GunCon, but that was like the name of like the guns that Namco had for all their like shooting like the Time Crisis titles that they had during the PlayStation era. Was the GunCon.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. So that's what Nintendo's doing this year. They're putting out the Switch. Got a bunch of games. Some look appealing, some less so. What other games are you guys looking forward to in 2017?
Scalebound.
Oh.
Well, Science, funny you should say that. I have some disappointing news for you.
What?
It turns out that
No, don't say it was like rescheduled, like pushed back. Don't say that.
If only it was rescheduled.
Actually, Hideki Kamiya got sucked into another dimension.
No, I knew this was going to happen.
Oh man, how will we ban people from his Twitter?
Now, what we're gonna have to do is use Twitter to rescue him.
Okay.
From the dark side.
Seriously, if you follow him, if you don't follow him on Twitter, he always gets tons of likes and retweets. But if you ask him a stupid question, he'll just straight up block you and just forget you ever existed.
Nice.
Yeah. So seriously speaking, Scalebound got canceled. That's really weird. Not often that we see a very high profile game that's been demoed at an E3 presser get shit canned like that.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder because like I don't know, did Microsoft just kind of say I don't think we're ever gonna know, but I just kind of look at it and say, did Platinum just try to make it too hardcore or something, or just like
the rumor going around is that Platinum wanted to make a full-fledged large-scale RPG. Mm-hmm. And Microsoft essentially wanted what Nier Automata is going to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So they wanted something that was basically just, a brawler with some light RPG elements, and Platinum wanted to go full on the whole RPG thing and make something at a much grander scale than what Microsoft had in mind. And so two clashing visions ended up in a project that got mired in development hell.
Interesting.
And,
Does it
keep in mind this is a rumor, so I would take all that with a grain of salt. But it does seem to fit, the developer statements of the game versus what was shown off at E3.
Yeah. It actually looked kind of interesting and like it looked like it had potential.
Yeah. I don't know if I was on board with the aesthetics of it, like. Teenage guy with headphones fighting dragons.
Yeah, I know, but it could be like polished into something interesting.
Yeah, it looked kind of like How to Train Your Dragon, but extreme, right?
Or Dragonheart with Sean Connery.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Exactly like that. I'm gonna pretend I understand that reference.
I've heard of the movie, yeah.
Yeah. So, Scalebound got canceled. What games that have so far not yet been canceled are you guys looking forward to?
Oh man, so many games.
I actually did look this up, and not beyond some of the sequels. I'm like, sequels are but there were a couple kind of. And to be fair, I'm kind of looking at. I looked at like Polygon's like 30 coming up, and unfortunately, one of them was Scalebound, so that was bad. But for example, like one of them was. Everyone's going to say Persona 5. Everyone's going to say Zelda. So
sure.
let's get those out of the way. Stuff like the one that kind of brought it to me was actually the look it up here. I need to get the exact title here. Come on, scroll faster. Come on.
We can hear you scrolling right now.
Yeah.
I can fill in for you.
Okay.
Sure. Science, why don't you go ahead while PT's looking up
I
games.
think he's found something.
I found it. Okay. No. Okay. So the first game was actually, I believe, it's the Xbox One PC exclusive. It was a lot of smaller games I'm looking forward to. First is the game Cuphead, which was that weird. Steamboat Willie animated, kind of like look-alike platformer, like that hand-drawn. That looks amazingly
kind of like
beautiful.
a shooter more than a platformer, from what I've heard, because you kind of like sometimes you're flying in space or something.
Yeah, it's a run and gun type of game.
Yeah, kind of run and gun thing.
I mean, it's just an example.
I really
of, like,
love the aesthetic. Mm-hmm. It's a game I'll never play because, frankly, the gameplay does not appeal to me whatsoever.
But the aesthetic is so
good. The aesthetic is wonderful.
Yes. And then again, I'm good with playing just about any sort of platformer shooter genre anyway. So like it's like, hey, it's a thing I like, and hey, it looks pretty there. Let's see other things. The Shovel Knight DLC is coming this year as well. It's the Spectre of Torment, the second DLC pack. Which is still free. Let's see here. The Tacoma, which was the second game from the Fulbright people who made Gone Home. That looks fantastic. Just a lot of smaller titles as opposed to just the big stuff, because my problem right now is essentially, even though I kind of want to buy a PS4 eventually, it's like, I mean, I just bought like 1,000 games this past holiday season. I listed all of them off to you earlier. I just like, eventually I have other things to play, and like, I will eventually get to Final Fantasy 15. I will eventually get to Bloodborne. I will eventually get to the Uncharted games. But at the same time, it's like, do I really want to spend $400 right now on that when I have already more stuff to play? But yeah, those are kind of an examples of a few games I looked up and are thinking, oh, I want to do that. So go ahead, folks.
Cool. Okay, so I'm also going to get the big ones out of the picture here. So Resident Evil 7. I'm looking for that. Horizon Zero Dawn. Obviously, that looks cool. We talked a little bit about Nier Automata. Looking forward to that. And Red Dead Redemption 2. That seems to be coming this year, but not quite sure if it will. And
it's supposed to come towards the end of the year, I'm guessing. But
I think so, maybe. And Tekken 7. That also looks freaking cool.
God, there's somebody on Twitter. There's someone I follow on Twitter who's just like obsessed with how Nintendo somehow developed and figured out the launch date for the Switch much faster than Namco ever released Tekken 7 to the West. It's like, it's like, oh my God, like how is Tekken 7 not in the West yet? And I'm like, I just kind of like want to pat him on the back and say, I'm sorry.
Okay, so from the smaller games, Night in the Woods, I am really, really looking forward to that. I played the Lost Constellation. They're kind of a prequel thing. I really like that. The writing is fantastic. The game looks very like it's actually quite beautiful. It's a 2D
I've heard
thing,
it's a sort of a cross between a platformer and a narrative sort of adventure game.
Yeah. That's kind of the gist of it. It's like you go around, interact with stuff. You play some kind of like mini game type things, and like talk to people, and maybe you choose your dialogue. I think so. You did in Lost Constellation, so you probably will in this too. So yeah, it looks fantastic. I totally want to play it. It looks very, very cool. Next one is Valkyria Revolution. It's a Valkyria. It's from the Valkyria series, Valkyria Chronicles series. It looks pretty good, but I don't know too much about it. But I'm looking forward to playing it. Torment, the Tides of Numenera, or however you say it. I really like Planescape Torment, so that's a good one. Nidhogg 2. I really like the original Nidhogg. I am not offended by the art as many people are. I think it looks cool actually. And Parappa the Rapper, the remaster. I'm looking forward to playing Parappa the Rapper in 2017, yo.
Is what really sells it.
Exactly.
That's okay, because the original game is just straight up unplayable because of like HD TVs and stuff.
Exactly. I haven't played the game for the longest time, and I just want to kick punch, and it's on my mind and stuff like that. So.
I was looking at the list here, and boy, like a lot of these Kickstarter games, I'm actually very curious about. Like, I'm not much of like a rare like 3D platformer fan, but I hope for their sake that Yooka-Laylee is good.
Yeah, Ukulele and A Hat in Time, both of which got kickstarted. I'm hoping both of those turn out really well.
Because again, I want those fans to be happy.
I guess so.
I'm one of those fans. I want to be happy.
I was never a fan of Banjo-Kazooie games.
I mean, I like 3D platformers in general. So Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, those are some of my favorite games. Banjo-Kazooie didn't really resonate with me, but now having updated these games for the 21st century, I think they'll play a little better.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
so.
it's not going to be Mighty Number 9. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Mighty Number 9.
I mean, you never know. We might end up with a Mighty Number 9 situation, but
I hope not. God,
people
I
have
hope not.
played the games so far.
I got really bummed about the whole Mighty Number 9 situation. Like their stream when they said that, oh, we know this is not the greatest thing. We had so and so. We didn't have so much time and didn't have the budget.
I got bummed because it was just really mediocre and frustrating. It wasn't like this. It wasn't a complete tire fire. It was just mediocre.
Yeah, and the trailer really bummed me out. So
it's like it was a girl, like a
anime.
You'll make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night.
Oh, that's what it was. Anime fan on prom night. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how to. Yeah, that trailer. That's all I can say about the trailer. It just reduces me to being unable to form sentences.
Yeah, and it wasn't their fault. The trailer wasn't their fault.
I mean, that was Deep Silver with probably the worst marketing arm in all of video game publishing.
Yes.
Deep Silver did the Dead Island stuff, right?
I think so.
Like that was the severed body like promotion that got a lot of people.
Oh yeah, that thing. Fuck that thing. God damn it. But did they make the trailer? Because the trailer was very good. The Dead Island trailer, the first Dead Island trailer was very good, actually.
Oh yeah, the one that had like very little to do with
slow-mo and like background, like weird time thing. It was pretty good, actually. I liked it.
Yeah, that got people a total different idea. But it's just a zombie game. Cool.
Yeah, but it is very much different from the game, like from the end product. It doesn't look like
that. It reminds me sort of the infamous Mad World ad for Gears of War.
Yeah. That was the first one. Yeah.
Oh God, it's just so weird.
I hate.
I don't know why people
trailers. Like
I don't know why people try to make their games seem more serious and impactful than they actually are.
No, but
you're going to discover that it's not like that in the end.
Yeah, but
just own what you are, right?
A sad song to a trailer, okay, sure, but don't like cover good pop culture songs, make them sound all wispy and stupid and shit, and then like don't do that because like I've heard like 10 trailers this year that did that.
I actually kind of like that Mad World cover. That was the Donnie Darko cover.
No, but that was before the it wasn't made for the trailer. So
right.
Gary, what's the guy who did that cover?
Gary Jules or whatever.
Gary Jules, yeah. I mean, the original Tear for Fears songs is quite a bit different.
Yeah,
in its vibe. That's. They really don't know how to sell a game what it's actually going to be, and that's unfortunate. As far as what I'm looking forward to, you guys mentioned a lot of these games. A Hat in Time and Yooka-Laylee are at the top of my list of the kinds of games I want to play. You mentioned Persona 5. We mentioned Nier Automata. In terms of RPGs that we didn't mention, Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm a big Mass Effect fan. Definitely want to play the next game in the series. I'm a little leery of some of the changes they're making. I don't think an open world is necessarily the best fit for Mass Effect, but I'm willing to eat crow if it turns out to be
open world, guys.
Yeah. That's such an unfortunate connection that developers have done this gen, and it just it's ruined quite a few games.
It's like when they're running out of ideas, they say, "Okay, let's make it open world."
Yeah, I don't need games to be like. I understand there's a problem sometimes with making something overly linear. There's a reason that corridor shooter is a pejorative, but you can make a linear game with maps that don't funnel you down corridors. I mean, a bunch of games did that last year.
Doom 2016.
Uncharted 4, Titanfall 2.
I think
were
the
both
original
excellent
Doom even
linear
made
games.
it pretty okay
Well,
with that.
Well, that era of shooters, and that's another thing about Turok from '96 is that boy, those level designs are complicated and very samey, obviously because of the time, and they're very big, and so that's a very big difference
Yes.
from current FPS.
Yeah,
But,
it's more exploration more than spectacle.
Yeah, and I can understand, people being frustrated not being able to explore. But the solution isn't to make everything open world and fill it with empty bullshit side quests.
Yeah.
The solution is to make the levels a little more open, fill them with detail, and make player choices in terms of gameplay feel somewhat meaningful.
Yeah, I think
Instead
the
of-
denser the level, the more open it actually feels without being open. Like the more
Right.
detail is in the environments.
like
And you can make sort of multiple routes through a level and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You don't need to funnel everybody down the same path, but you can make the shooting galleries feel open, so you're not just literally shooting people down a corridor. There are so many ways to make these kinds of linear games feel more open.
I just feel like even the open world games have just gotten like way too big for their like the last two GTA games. Like 4 was just bloat with the city, and 5 was even worse. Like not a ton to do.
I mean,
like,
San Andreas was too big to begin with.
Oh, good. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a commuting simulator. There's no fast travel in that game.
Yeah,
like-
that's the worst thing about it. God damn it, I hate that.
And the
Yeah,
game,
I
the game,
don't want
the
to
game-
simulate commuting.
the game I always
want-
bring up. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a general problem with a lot of games. I don't want to simulate commuting. Get me to the good stuff faster. Commuting is not the fun part of your game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying, PT?
I was going to say, like, the game I always bring up every single time, other than Suikoden, is Sleeping Dogs. Is where I really feel that was like the perfect balance of large city, plenty to do. You don't feel completely overwhelmed.
Right. It's a game. If you know what it feels like, it feels like Grand Theft Auto with an editor.
Oh yes.
Right. Like, yes, it's an open world. Yes, there's side quests and side activities, but everything in that game feels like it belongs in that game.
Interesting.
I don't feel like they overloaded it with bullshit. There's like a tiny bit of bullshit because any open world game has a tiny bit of bullshit.
Right.
But it feels, for the most part, everything that's in that game feels like it belongs there. That it's an essential part of the experience, and that you couldn't lift it out without compromising it in some way.
That's why I was very sad when United Front. I believe they closed this last year.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
closed down at the end of last year, which is unfortunate because now we're never going to get Sleeping Dogs 2.
Which I am very sad about. And I'm usually not very
actually-
sad about sequels.
For sure. Sleeping Dogs is one of my favorite games of last gen.
Yeah.
And
It-
that we're never going to get a sequel really disappoints me.
the history of development of that game was so complicated and weird that I already didn't think we will ever see Sleeping Dogs 2 actually.
Like it was like a, it was
Yeah,
a
the
true,
fact
it was
that
a
it came
true,
out,
It was a true
I mean, the
crime
fact-
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it started as something else, then they slapped the true crime label on it over at Activision, and then Activision dropped them, but they still had some of the original assets and ideas for the game. So then they shopped it around, Square Enix came in, and they released it as Sleeping Dogs as an entirely new IP.
Yeah.
Yeah, and considering the crazy development cycle it had, it's surprising that it came out, much less that it came out as a good game.
Yeah.
So sometimes, a trial by fire is what a game needs to be successful, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like with Doom. It also had a complicated history.
Yeah.
Doom had-
Sometimes
And Doom had no right to be as good as it was. Like it was just shockingly how much they got it right. That's also another amazing speedrun you should watch this past week.
yeah, there have been a lot of good speedruns. And I'll definitely be checking that out. So, in terms of other games that I'm looking forward to, we did mention Persona 5, which looks sweet, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Super stylish, hella stylish. I am so on board with this game. Other RPGs, Ni no Kuni 2 looks really nice.
Okay.
Looks beautiful. This other game called Y2K, which is in the style of a JRPG, but is being developed in the West. It's an indie game starring a bunch of hipsters from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It looks almost, it's so insufferable that it goes right back around to being cool again. Like,
Right.
it just owns its hipsterism.
Sure,
and
sure.
completely becomes something, it's like transcends it. So I'll see how that turns out. Other games we haven't mentioned that I'm looking forward to. I was initially really skeptical about this, but after seeing some gameplay, I'm on board. Prey. I don't know why they're calling it Prey. There's no reason to. It has nothing to do with the original Prey, so I don't know why they didn't just make a new IP.
Yeah, it is very weird.
The first Prey made me motion sick.
I really liked the first Prey. One of the few people that liked it, I guess.
Yeah, it was generally pretty well received. It wasn't like a game of the year or anything, but people generally liked it.
But then the people were really negative about it, and I felt like, what?
It took
I've never met anybody who hated that game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe there are some pockets of the internet that hate it. There are some pockets of the internet that hate everything.
That's true.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In any case, the reason this appears appealing to me is that this is going to sound really strange. I think it's what I wanted Dishonored 2 to be. In that Dishonored 2 is basically just Dishonored 1 in a different city.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted something that took the ideas of the first Dishonored and put a spin on them in such a way that that it would feel fresh. And this seems like it's using a lot of the same tools. You know, there's stealth, there's action, but instead of knives, you have guns. And instead of supernatural powers, you have sci-fi powers. So it's very much in the same mold, in the same sort of, but it has sort of that System Shock vibe going on that I think will be really appealing to me. And finally, we mentioned Night in the Woods and Tacoma as games that we're really looking forward to in sort of that narrative / indie / adventure space. In that similar space, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony is coming out It's coming out this year. I think it's going to be. It looks awesome. They've upped the production values like 5-fold.
Oh yeah.
So it looks really smooth and not super pixelated like Danganronpa looks like running on my PC.
I do have to play Danganronpa 2 still. I only played the first one, so.
Yeah, I've got the second one is like ready to go as soon as I'm done with the first one, which I plan to finish tonight. And speaking of other things they're bringing next year, this year, they're finally porting the weird third-person shooter spin-off to PC. So now's a chance to play it if you are not a Vita owner.
I would be more into a Vita if the memory stick prices just weren't insane.
There are a lot of good games on there.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if there are enough interesting games that I would like to play on the go. I think there are games there that I would like to play on my PC or whatever.
I decided to say if I was a more mobile person, like I had a real commute or something, I would do it just to have it be like a PS1 classic machine. Because I have all these like PS1 games like on my PS3 like Mega Man X4 and 5 and the two Suikoden games and just a lot of these things I'm just like, boy, these would be great as just sit pick up and play but I just can't like justify that much money for a simple lark.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't really have a commute right now as you do. Sorry, you also don't have a commute.
I essentially my job is essentially 2 exits away. I just drive my car and I just take 2 exits on the interstate and boom, I'm here.
my job
I walk to my office.
Okay,
I live within walking distance of where
freeway, not interstate, but yeah, same difference.
So I don't have a commute. I can't play anything walking 10 minutes to
I have I'm 15 minutes away from my work, but even when I was like an hour away from my work, I don't know if I would just flip I don't know if I would just be playing games in a bus or whatever. There's not enough space to do that there.
Yeah, I can imagine playing a game on a bus when it's not super cramped and you have a seat.
Yeah.
If you're standing up, then God help you, right?
Yeah, that's bad. No, but no, I guess I'm that weird person that just takes his 3DS to like random things while he's waiting. Like I was like getting a haircut and I had to wait like 20 minutes. And I said, "Oh, I'm just gonna play my 3DS for that extended period of time."
See, that makes sense.
I'm gonna play Picross 3D. I'm gonna play everywhere.
Oh yeah, I just shitpost on the avocado when I have to wait like that.
Sure.
I don't have wireless though.
Yeah, I just use my data.
You have to, you have to take your mind off of boredom for like, you can't be like 5 minutes staring into space. You gotta do something.
I mean,
that's
whatever's going on in my head can be pretty interesting.
Like I can't be thinking about my mortality every second.
Oh God, especially in these days.
Yeah, definitely. Like I gotta do something with my brain.
Yeah. And you don't want to be thinking dirty thoughts out in public, so that's not an option. I don't know, maybe it is for science, but...
Well, you have to scale it down a little bit.
I'm going to take that as a pun. As double entendre, if you will. So that's what we're looking forward to in 2017 in terms of games. Lots of appealing games on the horizon. Some games got canceled, and we're never going to be able to play them. Sorry, Scalebound. What else do you think is going to happen in the games industry this year? So, all these games are going to come out or get delayed, but there are other trends that we've been seeing in the games industry. We mentioned Scalebound earlier as a high-profile cancellation. Do you think that we're going to see other high-profile cancellations this year?
I don't know. I don't. Everything is possible in this industry. You never know. Like in movies, you're pretty sure if something is going to be like finished or not. In video games, they can scrap an almost completed thing and then maybe repurpose it to something else. Hopefully, if those people will still have jobs by the end of the production thing. Like, this is a crazy industry. I'm not quite sure if we're
Remember when 6 Days in Fallujah got canceled when it was basically complete?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for games to just stop existing 5 months out from their supposed release date.
I guess the other thing is that, like, unlike movies, there really isn't like a dumping ground month for games. I mean, like, the joke is always that this month in February, you're always like oh crap, these movies just totally suck, and well, no one watches movies anyway those days, so just put them out there. Like that.
Yeah, whereas there are high-profile releases in January this year, like say Gravity Rush 2 is coming out next week, I think.
No, next week. Holy shit, yeah. Huh.
I was gonna say though, for example, like, to kind of put your theory about like how Hollywood just simply does not cancel things and it will somehow get out eventually. I think that Monster Trucks movie that's coming out in a week or so, that's been on the shelf for like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
And they finally decided, oh well, this January, I guess we can release it now.
Yeah, it's like
that's not a Cars spinoff, correct? That is just some other franchise.
No.
Okay.
I wish, man. I wish.
Oh, it's probably
there are all these shitty 3D animated movies that like don't even rise to the level of B tier DreamWorks.
I don't think this is is this an animated movie?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It might be like,
wait, it's not an animated
movie
movie?
or live action thing?
Yeah.
What? Okay,
yes.
I'm looking this up right now.
Look
Monster
it up.
Trucks film. Come on, let's Wikipedia this shit.
Oh crap.
It's a 3D live action / computer animated action comedy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh God. It sounds like success. It's success spelled with.
Oh, you can tell that it's gonna be a successful film because they filmed it in Kamloops, British Columbia.
Oh, fantastic.
Where, if you know anything about British Columbia geography, is in the middle of fucking nowhere in British Columbia.
Well, they need that extra space for those trucks, man.
But it's not like it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, as in there's a lot of fields. It's sort of like up in the mountains.
Oh.
So it's like there's even space to film shit.
$125 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I don't know.
And look at the cast. They have like Amy Ryan, Rob Lowe, Danny Glover.
They have Rob Lowe.
How did they get all these fucking
Rob
people
Lowe, what are
for
you
this
doing with your
movie?
life?
Oh, not making movies, I guess.
Not making
God.
good decisions.
How do they get this cast?
Apparently, movies may have a little bit of like a trouble. This month is not great for movies. Basically, what I'm hearing.
I think like, for example, just like kind of bringing this up here, like Steven Seagal actually got a movie released in theaters like last month.
Oh yeah, that's sad.
And that was probably one of the better recent AV Club reviews I've read in a while.
Yeah,
was the delightful F that movie retained.
Well, how about those video games though? Maybe Seagal will get into those. That would be the day.
What does Steven Seagal video game even be?
Oh my god, he would just be walking slowly and doing slow karate.
And he'd be, he wouldn't be in the movie for most of the movie because it'd just be a stunt double.
Hit A to eat a cheeseburger. Hit it faster.
So it'd be Shenmue.
Yeah. Hey, it would totally be Shenmue.
When is Shenmue 3 coming out?
I don't care.
I think it's supposed to come out this year.
I hate that game. I hate Shenmue.
Oh, I was just gently ribbing on Shenmue. I never even played it.
No, I'm joking. I don't hate it, but I think it's very boring. Like, I played it and was like, holy crap. Like, most of the things you do in this game are not worth my time.
Well, when you're looking for sailors doing, like, forklift races or whatever the hell that's going on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, nobody fucking understands Shenmue.
Yeah.
But people love it for some reason.
Yeah, and the people that love it just love it. Like, they...
Yeah. That's why they went friggin' gaga over it when they promoted it on stage at Sony's presser.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put the fucking game in your press conference, then fund the fucking game.
Yeah, that was so weird. Man,
Don't tell me to give you money because you apparently don't have enough.
Yeah,
Put your fucking money where your mouth is, you greedy shitbags. Seriously.
I forgot. No, that E3 conference was weird. It was like either that or, oh, by the way, The Last Guardian actually exists.
Yeah.
Or, God, there was another thing.
Yeah, we're reviving old games. Hello. Wasn't Gravity Rush 2 also part of that conference or something?
Gravity Rush 2 was never at... I don't think that was at that conference. It definitely wasn't at this year's conference.
Remaster. Maybe Remaster was there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In any case, it was really bizarre that they actually excluded it. They excluded Gravity Rush 2, Persona 5, Ni no Kuni 2, a whole bunch of games from that press conference. Did they show off that fucking zombie game, Days Gone, or whatever?
Yes.
And it's not actually a zombie game. They're freakers or something? I don't even fucking know what they're called.
Like, the only reason they did that was that the tech with the zombies where they just look like water particles. Like, I don't give a shit, though.
Yeah, that game looks so shitty.
Like, those
and again, it's another fucking open world crafting survival bullshit game with light RPG elements. It looks so fucking generic.
Yeah.
Like, who thought this was a good idea to invest money in? Who thought, you know what? I'm going to make a fucking game that looks like all the other fucking games that nobody else is going to play because we already have the existing fucking games.
I know what happened. Like, a guy in a business suit came in and said, you know what people like? Them Walking Dead things and them Sons of Anarchy. How about we connect these two and make a video game, right, guys?
I just think some exec did a bunch of coke and jizzed money on a page.
You're just making my argument about why there should only be like 5 FPSs a year.
That's a third-person shooter, though.
Right, but it's
fake. Okay, I get it.
It's like 5 games with guns per year.
Yes.
But it's just like, for example, like when Homefront originally came out, the first one, it's like, oh, this is gonna tank. You know why? There's like 17 other fucking shooters out there.
Oh yeah, the first-person shooter market is oversaturated with gruff-looking white guys.
Yeah, but actually, the first-person shooter market has kind of declined in recent years.
Yeah.
Like, where's my No One Lives Forever 3? Like, I want to play a
that will never happen.
That will never happen because
Spy.
the rights are so screwed up. Like, they're
Like,
trying
Yeah,
to,
nobody
God.
actually knows who owns the rights.
I hate that.
And nobody's willing to throw money at solving who owns the
Okay,
rights.
it doesn't have to be No One Lives Forever 3, but make a game that's as imaginative and as cool as that game. Like, first-person shooters don't have to be drab and boring and lame
Oh,
like they
I
are now.
agree. Titanfall 2 came out last year, was not drab and boring, was a
Yeah.
fucking great time.
Yeah,
Doom-
it's
and-
still
and,
a military game, though.
and
Like,
Doom-
Yeah, it's got the
2016
military
did not-
trappings, but it's
did
so much
not-
more imaginative than that.
yes, I agree.
I was gonna say the Doom remake also did not take itself seriously.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Doom is a very good example of how you do a first-person shooter well. But I wish they made more because like a spy thing isn't like when they made GoldenEye, it was kind of boring. It was good. People loved it, but it wasn't very unique. There wasn't much unique about it, right? But No One Lives Forever, it had like a bunch of cool, unique shit that you did in that game. I wish more.
Yeah,
more
I
things
actually-
were.
it felt like a spy game.
I actually kind
Yeah.
of want to play. I actually kind of want to play a GoldenEye with like not 10 frames per second shooting because the level design and the mission objectives were kind of interesting for the time.
I think they did
can play, like, the
GoldenEye
Perfect Dark.
remastered.
You
Yeah,
can play the Perfect Dark remaster in the Rare Replay collection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, and that's what I want to see. I want to see another Perfect Dark. That game was dope as hell.
you know,
man.
unfortunately, they made Perfect Dark 0. And
Yeah,
they killed-
exactly. That killed.
Kind of killed the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, getting back to if we're going to see more high profile cancellations.
Oh yeah, right. We were talking about.
Wow, I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize. We already established from the beginning this is going to be a train wreck.
Okay.
It's going to be like, we already had like a train wreck podcast. That was the one where you guys started talking about pinball for some fucking reason.
Well, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, we had this podcast a while back where PT and Otaku no Mike were really disappointed that I basically just hadn't played any video games because they're old people who've played lots of video games, and I'm a young person who hasn't played that many.
Right.
So they were trying to get me to play all these fucking classic games that I hadn't played
Remember
before.
Black Knight pinball? That was a fucking cool pinball table.
I have no fucking clue what you're talking about, but I'm just going to pretend that I know.
It had a cool music and everything. And Black Hole, that also was a cool. Never
I
mind.
think I think you can play like all those games like on it's like Pinball Arcade or something.
Yeah,
'cause-
you can. Pinball Arcade.
Yeah, they have like Pinball Arcade FX2. They're out in Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should get those.
No, Pinball Arcade. They'll like they run Kickstarters so they could say, hey, we can get the Star Trek TNG thing, but we need this much money for the license.
Yeah, they do that. Yes.
That seems like a smart business plan.
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
think so. Yeah.
It's sort of like pre-ordering at that point.
Right.
Yeah. So getting back to games that got canceled or that might get canceled, Scalebound feels like somewhat of an outlier to me, right? Like games that you show off at an E3 press conference normally don't get canceled this far along in the process.
Yeah, the press conference thing. Yeah, that thing is like a weird thing to do.
Yeah, like they showed off gameplay at a press conference. I mean, the other high-profile cancellation recently was Star Wars 1313.
Yeah.
But they never showed that off at an E3 presser. They showed gameplay off at other events.
Gotta say though that
Or-
Star Wars 1313, it almost looked like a tech demo.
Yeah, it really. They probably just had that one level built and nothing else.
It was also
I
going to
guess-
be. It's also going to be a situation where, like, I think it was either Disney or somebody else just like wanted out of video games, and that was
Yeah.
the casualty.
That's why we're never going to get. Probably never going to get another Monkey Island game.
It's like
probably.
it's like a Disney Infinity fail, which I refuse to believe it did, because I'm shocked it didn't print money. Then how's anything going to work?
No,
thing is, it didn't really fail though. It was just
I
they
think
wanted
it
out of the video game
kinda-
business.
I think it had like a lot of competition with Skylanders
Skylanders?
and the Lego game. Actually, there was a little bit of an oversaturation of the market there.
True.
Yeah.
Also,
I
amiibos
guess.
and or all the kind of weird shit that they put out. Although amiibos are a completely different thing, truth be told.
Yeah. I mean, what else? So we saw Disney pulling out of the video game market. Looks like Konami sort of wants to pull out of the video game market, or they want to just keep
But
a toe in the video game pool.
Yeah, but they
Oh.
still put out that Bomberman thing for the new Switch thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to make up their minds about whether they want to keep making video games or not. Because now they're putting out Metal Gear Survive, which is probably just going to piss everybody off.
Yeah, probably. But they are making pachinko games, dudes. So
yeah, so why don't they just go full out on pachinko and love hotels?
Because I don't think those
so
are
good at
profitable
pachinko
anymore.
games.
Pardon me?
I don't think they're profitable anymore, or at least they're not like, I don't know.
Pachinko? Oh, pachinko fucking prints money.
Yeah, pachinko prints money, man.
I forgot what I'm talking about. Like I think the original people who bought SNK, like that was like way back in the day, was originally like pachinko people, and I guess they diversified for a reason. Or I'm just talking out my ass. Move on.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is, we saw Disney pulling out of the video game market not because they weren't making any money, but because they thought they could invest their resources better elsewhere. Konami, I'm assuming, is making some money off video games, but it's nowhere near as profitable as their other businesses.
Yeah.
Why aren't they focusing on their other businesses if they're just going to half-ass video games?
No, I think they what they did was they saw what Kojima was doing, said, "Man, that guy is fucking nuts. We're not going to give that guy any more money because he's too much of a wild card.
Also,
we want to be."
Yeah. How much did MGS5 cost?
Yeah, it costs like boatloads of money. It's crazy. So we're not giving that guy any more money. And this Lords of Shadow thing, people didn't buy it really. So let's just count our losses and just invest in things that we're sure that they're gonna work. And I think this Bomberman thing is a good bet.
Yeah, but then why make Metal Gear Survive?
Because
Nobody's going to buy that shit.
They have all those assets, and they have the Fox engine, and it's a cheap thing to do, and it will probably make them a lot of money because it's a free to Is it free to play or is it like?
I don't think it's free to play. I think it's a $60 retail title.
Oh shit! Oh, that's weird. But either way, it'll do something. It was cheap to make probably.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll recoup their investment, but it's not going to be a hot seller.
Yeah.
It also looks fucking shitty.
Oh,
but, yeah. In any case, Konami, I mean, they must be making decisions with some semblance of logic. But it seems like they're a company pretty much running on spite. Do you think any other companies are going to pull out of the video game business this year?
Boy.
Majesco pulled out just last year.
Shoot.
They decided to refocus entirely on medical equipment.
Yeah, that's weird.
Bizarre.
So it's a reverse BioWare? Because that's what BioWare.
The doctors.
I'm gonna ask Kappa to put a rim shot in post.
Fair enough.
Boom, boom. Anyway, yeah, there's. I don't think other companies largely are gonna pull out of the market, but it seems like some companies are gonna go out of business. In fact, I'd be surprised if Crytek did not go out of business this year.
That thing.
Oh God, that's a mess of a company.
Yeah, it's a trash.
Yeah, but any other companies you think are going to go under this year?
It's funny because I actually found out this was 2015, not 2016. But I'd read the other day that even a lot of Japanese companies are just kind of like being sold to these mobile companies, and one of them was Tri-Ace, which was the kind of a second tier RPG developer, mostly known for the Star Ocean series. They had essentially become like hired guns for making the Final Fantasy 13-2 and Lightning Returns. They make all these weird games, and they were like sold to a mobile company in 2015. I had no idea until just now.
Oh wow!
You don't?
I mean, they still managed to make Star Ocean 5.
That's
oh
true.
God!
You know what?
I mean, I heard Star Ocean 5 wasn't very good, but they still made a full-fledged AAA RPG.
Sure.
Even being owned by mobile people.
That's true. Now that I think about it, now that I'm thinking more and more about it, I'm kind of worried about Platinum.
Yeah.
I'm very worried about
TMNT game they put out was not very good, I heard.
They canceled Scalebound. For a moment there, it seemed like they had so many projects. Like they were working on so many projects, and now it seems like they're putting all their eggs in one basket, and that basket is Nier Automata, which I'm not quite sure if it'll.
It's so niche. It's a weird thing to try to sell as their flagship product.
I'm worried about them.
Yeah, I
think Platinum was just spread too thin. They had too many projects on the go, and the quality of the individual projects suffered. They probably didn't have the resources to live up to their vision of Scalebound. So maybe concentrating on a somewhat niche title that is getting a lot of positive pre-release press is just what they need.
I kind of wonder. I mean, I don't know the story behind it, but I kind of wonder, like, how they got the Korra license. Like, did someone say, "Hey, here, this is a company that needs work, and they can make a good fighting engine for you. So, hey, here's a Legend of Korra game. Get at it."
Yeah, the Turtles and Korra and Transformers are such weird, like, picks for that company, which made like crazy anime off the chain shooters and like action games. Like, I wouldn't think to give them those projects, but there you go.
I mean, I heard Korra was okay. I mean,
yeah, I guess.
I heard the Transformers game they did was good, but the TMNT and Korra ones weren't very good. So maybe I think they just thrive when they have that creative freedom. And they feel like they want to go batshit all out crazy, but they can't when they're sort of restricted by a license.
Truth be told,
if you let them have that freedom, then they do great things.
Yeah, truth be told, you were right. They were spread too thin, and the B team that were making these smaller games obviously didn't have enough money and resources to do them.
I wish Vanquish was on PC.
Oh my god, I still have my cool like holographic Vanquish box copy thing.
Because like I want to make like a serious run of that game, because I feel like the dumbest, worst player on the planet. Like I don't think the first boss is supposed to take a half an hour to kill.
I think it's only like 4 hours long, that game, if you're like good at it. But if you're not, it's like 3 times as long as that. And for me, that's a mark of a good game. That's a sign of a good game.
Because it's like I know how to kill this guy. Like I have to shoot the glowing spots, right? It's like, why isn't this guy dying?
Yeah, you can do it better. That's what Vanquish is saying to you. You can.
Right.
All the time, it's saying you can do it better.
Like
you can do it.
The only game that I really kind of liked from them was Metal Gear Rising. Because that was like a nice mix of accessible and, hey, do you want to like learn how to counter things all day? Hey, good luck. And I was pretty good at that. Cool,
but I don't think it had the depth of Vanquish. Vanquish had like some cool depth in it, but definitely Metal Gear Rising was a spectacle, and that final boss fight is pretty good.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. Plus, it's got slicing ninja skills and Raiden,
watermelons,
and rules of nature.
People are into for whatever reason. So it seems that it's really hard to predict if something's going to get canceled or canned. And maybe we're not going to see any more or fewer cancellations than in previous years. But do you think that games are getting sort of too risky to produce? That AAA games are sort of entering a too big to fail territory? I mean, we talk about Metal Gear Solid 5 having this amazingly huge budget. Do you think that we're going to see more of these sort of too big to fail games that have such huge budgets that they just need to sell so many copies to recoup their investment?
They've been that way for years. Like, I'm really curious. Like, I admit, as a dyed-in-the-wool Final Fantasy fan, I really hope 15 does well. I have no doubts it will do well, because it's just too much money and too much time taken to make that damn game. But I hope it does something. But that's an example right there.
I think that
that it spent so long in development. With so much cash thrown at it.
Even like a decade and change. I think that it's interesting to see the smaller games, like indie games, using the some shared assets and like very easy tools, like easy to use tools, to make games that are almost slowly getting more and more like almost on par with these AAA games. Like, it's interesting to see this transition.
Mm-hmm. They've taken over the mid-range. Like, there used to be like this nice mid-range group of things, like games like Darksiders and the like, that were like, they had a little money put into them, but like not a super ton, but they were like totally nice B-tier games. And that totally went away in the last gen, and I guess the indie games are sort of starting to rev it up again.
I think now there's a lot of middleware that's been built for Unreal and Unity that makes it easier for developers to just plug and play with a lot of components. So, they don't need to write, say, a foliage script.
Yes.
They can just take the Unity foliage script that somebody else wrote,
speed tree,
and plug it right into the game, and then they've got trees.
And you know what? Sometimes I'm playing an indie game, and I have as much I feel like it is as a complete experience, and it lasts as long as a AAA game, and it's.
Do you have any examples?
Shoot, not.
I know I put you on the spot there. Sorry.
Okay. Let's say Rocket League. I played Rocket League for hundreds of hours, and that's for me, that's like a multiplayer game in the same scope like a good AAA Blizzard game. I liked it as much. I think it has as much depth, and it has a great multiplayer scene. So I think it actually works as well as some of those bigger AAA multiplayer games like Overwatch and all of those other games. So I think it's possible to make a very good a smaller game that is big in scope,
Yeah, especially now, we've talked about development trends that have made it easier to develop larger games for indie studios. Do you think that we're going to see the resurgence of the AA market now?
I really hope so. Either that or just indie games that have because there's too many indie games out there, but I also just like the ones that are just have unique voices, unique graphics. Like Hyper Light Drifter, like I mentioned earlier. Boy, that game is way too goddamn hard. It's very frustrating. It has a lot of problems, but it's got such an amazing little lo-fi pixel aesthetic. And a great soundtrack.
The color scheme in that game looks amazing.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, Firewatch is kind of like a thing that made me think, wow, this is made by an indie studio. It's so, it feels so big. The voice acting is excellent. The visuals are there's not, it's not like super bump mapping and thing, but it's a beautiful game.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into the lighting tech for that game.
Yeah.
So they could do, they could make it look really nice without spending a lot of time putting in excruciating amounts of
Firewatch has some amazing art design behind it, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it does feel like an indie game, but it feels like it occupies that AA space almost.
Yes, yeah.
Right, it's an 8-hour adventure.
Yeah, and it
takes time to play through.
It looks like there's some things that are there that you see, and that it could be done a little bit better, and you can see that with enough time and money it probably would be, but you don't really need that. The concept is sound, and that's the allure of these smaller games, is that probably time and money would help, but what's there, the core thing that's there, it's enough to be memorable and better than most. I've liked Firewatch better than I think any other AAA game last year. So
it was my game of the year of 2016.
I think that I think people need to understand, and there's always going to be people that are against this, and I think they're wrong, but we don't need everything to be 16 hours long. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just, boy, there's just
Inside is amazing, and it's 4 hours long or something.
Yeah, I think Inside took me 6. I can look it up right now how long it took me. Took me 5 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it ended up being one of my favorite games of the year. It accomplished everything it needed to do in that much time.
Yeah, it took
And yeah,
3
some of the
hours.
older indie games or the really cheap indie games can be janky.
Yeah.
But there's space for the indie game for the universe of indie games to be a spectrum. You don't need to you don't need cheap knockoffs at one end and gigantic AAA open world garbage collection fests on the other end.
You know what this conversation reminds me of? That Recore was that AA game that we didn't see for like
Yeah.
yeah, that was a game
Yeah.
that's similar.
And I heard that was
Recore, I've heard mixed things about it. I heard that the first half of it is really good, but then it gets really repetitive towards the end.
Yeah.
I heard it was
But
based
yeah,
in 2008.
Yeah. Now,
oh yeah, it's design decisions from 2008. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
now imagine it being done in a more restrictive budget. Like cut the game in half. Probably some producer wouldn't be over your shoulder saying it should be double the length. It probably would be even better as an indie game.
So,
Yeah, I mean, they probably wouldn't have been able to achieve the same level of graphical fidelity.
Probably, yeah.
But I think they would have just used a different art style
Yeah.
in that case, and they would have come up with something maybe not equally as good, but worthwhile in its own right.
Yeah.
that reminds me how I haven't played Okami, and I've been told that, oh, that game is great for the first half, and then it should be over. But unfortunately, there's a second half.
There's like 40 hours to that game or 50 hours. I was playing it and I didn't see the end of it. I was like, oh, this surely is the end of the game. And then they throw another, like an overworld at you. And you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, it's enjoyable, but I need to live, Okami. I have a life.
Right.
Oh, some games drag on for so long.
Yeah. And
you ever play Arkham Knight? That game is about 15 hours long.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we make fun of Arkham Knight in this episode. Great.
Oh yeah, we haven't. Do you want to talk about Sonic next?
Oh god. No.
Do you want to hit our usual topics? Do you want to make fun of Randy Pitchford some more?
On that Polygon best of 20 thing I was looking at, there was that Sonic retro game that looks like garbage, and I'm like wondering, like, oh, why would you be excited about that?
Sonic Mania?
Because
yeah,
people
why do they need to
like
fucking make
Sonic?
the old pixelated Sonic games? You can make a modern looking Sonic game with modern looking graphics, but with the gameplay of the old games, and it's not gonna look like shit.
On that note,
I don't know.
On that note, I still haven't played Freedom Planet yet.
Don't. Like, the one good Sonic game was Sonic Generations, and I guess Sonic Colors also had a good thing going. But, like, please stop. Please stop making Sonic games. Please just put a bullet in his head. Come on.
It must sell. It must sell.
I think they just gotta rebrand him.
I mean,
Instead
they
of Sonic the
tried.
Hedgehog,
They tried.
Like
It was
Sonic
called.
Boom.
Yeah, it was Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
instead of Sonic, I mean, they just gave him a fucking scarf.
Yeah.
It's like that's like giving
Uncharted.
what's his name?
him.
Malibu Stacy a
That's
hat.
just Uncharted him.
Except for that actually worked. I might have been missed the point of that story. In any case, I mean, they just got a rebranding. Maybe may or may not work.
That guy doesn't have anything to him. Sonic is as hollow as a guy in Dark Souls when he dies 20 times. There's nothing there.
Wow, that's a reference.
Thank you.
They should call. You know what they should call him? Says Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Land Urchin.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
he has an
Make that a
echidna,
thing.
so
We should probably end on that joke. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, ba-doom, psh. I can be a human soundboard for that one.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean,
That reminds me of the time, like my last job, where I used to like taunt people with the Family Feud buzzer when they say a bad joke.
That's a good one. That's a good thing.
yeah. In any case, no. I mean, jokes aside, maybe Sonic doesn't need a rebranding, but it definitely needs a reconceptualization.
No, I
By
think
which I
you're
mean-
right. Rebranding would be also a good thing. Like, he's too edgy.
Yeah, just make him. I mean, I think they're trying to sell him sort of a Saturday morning cartoon character now, which is sort of working, and maybe they should run with that.
But
Pun
they
not
do have
intended.
nice.
I was gonna say they tried to make him gritty, and that's called Shadow the Hedgehog. He has a gun.
He says "damn it" in the game.
Yeah, but
No,
but they do have a synergy going. They have a cartoon going that's also popular amongst children, from what I've heard.
but it's also a shitty cartoon.
I mean, Yeah, but that's beside the point. It's profitable. Why would you want to change something? It's Sega. They want to earn more money.
I mean, I guess the solution is just make better games, but I don't know what that entails.
Yeah.
What's the design philosophy here that they are going to pursue?
What do you
Gotta
want
go
to do with
fast.
Sonic? But Sonic was bad from the beginning.
Boy, you're gonna get
So
some.
just-
I mean, I agree, but boy, people disagree with that.
Yeah, I know. I don't give a shit. Sonic
Yeah,
was bad
good-
from the beginning. I
good for
played
you.
Mario, and then I played Sonic, and I was, what is this shit? Like, there's nothing there for me. Like, there's no imagination in Mario was always the thing that made me like want to see more of the game. But Sonic, like, there's like it's very repetitive.
Well, the problem with Sonic is that its speed mechanics are fundamentally at odds with exploration.
Yeah, and it wants to do both, which is
Like
weird.
the first game was especially bad at that because the first level you had was okay, you're gonna go fast, and then second one's Marble Zone, and Marble Zone you're like pushing blocks very slowly to like avoid lava flows, lava jumps. I'm like, whoops. Well,
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah, so the second level has got to go slow.
yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with the weird design mechanic when their design document where I said, okay, Sonic has to be super fast and run quickly through the level, but then like every 10 seconds he has to slow down, figure out where he's going, like figure out the next like a little puzzle, and then it goes fast again, and then he has to stop. Like, okay, what do you want to do here exactly? Because it's not like running really quickly and having fun, but it's not exploring and like doing puzzles either. Like, you can have both, and they wanted to do.
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where it could take its inspiration from. This is kind of really weird. Mirror's Edge.
Interesting.
Right? In that game, it's the same sort of idea. You're moving fast through a world and you're parkouring over obstacles.
So you're saying we should play Sonic in a real world where there's skyscrapers, and he should fuck
That
a
is
wolf.
exactly what I'm saying. And yeah, Sonic should have guns and kung fu.
And he should kiss a human woman.
Yes, I said he should.
That
fuck
actually
a woman.
happened. That happened, by the way.
Oh, I
Yes,
know.
He should do a porno shoot.
Faith, however, did not kiss any human women. Faith does not have a romance arc.
No,
in Mirror's
and
Edge game.
that's good. That's good. I like that.
There's still the
Okay, we're not going to make Faith more like Sonic.
No, let's
the
make her
Esurance
blue.
animation in the sequel.
Pardon me?
Is it still the Esurance animation in the Mirror's Edge sequel?
No, they made all the cutscenes in engine,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
the cutscenes now are awful.
Okay.
So
Oh, Mirror's Edge 2.
you can just skip all the cutscenes and you'll still get the same value out of the game.
Oh, Mirror's Edge 2. If you could only be more like Sonic.
Have
Why
one
doesn't
games.
she collect? Why doesn't she collect rings? And then when someone hits her, all the rings fall out of her.
I think those should be her weapon. I
No,
think she
we
should just
don't
like
have-
Why doesn't Faith
lob
have,
rings at
why
bad
doesn't Faith have
guys.
a gun?
Well, why doesn't Sonic have
Okay,
a gun?
if once you play the combat in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, you'll wish that Faith still had a gun.
I
Yes,
wish Sonic
exactly.
had a gun, like a fucking assault rifle, and shoots the fucking tails out of the sky.
No, that reminds me. I'm playing Tomb Raider. I'm playing the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and personally, I enjoy Lara taking down deer of automatic weapons.
Oh yeah,
It feels like a waste of meat at that point.
But damn it, I just want his skin. Okay? I just want their skins. I don't need their meat.
But you're just putting holes in your leather at that point.
The upgrade system don't matter.
Your Honor. When I said I just want their skins, I was talking about a video game. I'm innocent. I tell you.
I'm so sorry. Oh God.
Yep. What did I say? Trainwreck episode.
It's fun.
Okay, one last thing I wanted to ask you guys. In terms of trends we're going to see in the industry in 2017, one thing that we have been seeing last year is sort of a decline almost in the level and intensity of marketing. Mm-hmm. We've seen shorter marketing cycles in general. Fallout 4 was announced a few months before released, for example.
Yeah.
And so the lengthy marketing cycles that happened last year, such as No Man's Sky, ended up backfiring horribly.
Oh boy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think we're going to see more of these short-lived, tight-lipped campaigns in the future, like, say, Fallout 4? Do you think we're going to see more of those in 2017?
Now it's very interesting that you say that because, like the Mario game and the Switch, they we knew about them for a while, but actually now that they didn't like announce them and say, okay, they're coming out next year. It's like they're coming out in 3 months, man. Like that's fast.
Well, Mario's holiday 2017, but your point applies well to Splatoon. Which is Splatoon 2, which is releasing this summer.
I think this is great though because it kind of reminds me of like the average Apple keynote, where it's like, oh hey, we're going to announce this new iPhone. Oh, by the way, it's available tomorrow.
Yeah, it's interesting what they did with Fallout also, when they actually, yes, they did that with Fallout 4, but they also said, oh, and you can play Fallout Shelter right now. So that was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was straight out of the Steve Jobs
exactly.
playbook.
Wasn't Let It Die that way? Where it's like they had that PlayStation experience and they announced it. It's like, oh, by the way, it's available like right now, so you should go play it.
Yeah. They did that, yeah.
Yeah, do you think we're going to see more of that?
Yeah, I don't think they trust the press and all of those guys to like, they don't want to do that anymore. They want to do the YouTube thing and the streaming thing. And to do that, they have to give the game that's almost ready already into the hands of some of the consumers.
The content creators.
Yeah, the content creators. Yeah, sure. So, I don't think they're just changing the strategy of how to, make hype happen, hyping people up.
Yeah, like we saw Bethesda last year change their review policy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I disagree with their changes because I'm a consumer, and at the end of the day, I want to know whether or not something's worth purchasing. Yeah. But they changed their review policy to send games out to press only one day before release. Mm-hmm. And that's partly because that way they can control the message better. They can send it out. They can send the game out to YouTubers whom they know will be favorable, give favorable opinions or be receptive to the games that they're releasing.
Yeah.
Whereas when you send a game out to press, you're sending it out into the Wild West, and the press can do whatever they want with it.
Oh, Bethesda just needs to have their fans fix their game again.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the Bethesda strategy for many years now. Fans can't fix everything. Some of their games are still horribly broken. But what are you going to do? They're going to print money no matter what.
By the way, who the goddamn hell is buying Skyrim on Switch? I want to know that person so I can laugh at them.
And who bought...
laugh? Is that a new portmanteau that you just invented?
Who bought the Batman game on Wii U? That's also a thing.
Jesus Christ. Like
which Batman game is on Wii U? Was that Arkham City?
The Arkham City port, yeah.
Armored Edition, I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell bought that on the Wii U?
I mean,
why?
If you haven't played Arkham City already, it seems as good a place as any to play it.
Isn't there a Mass Effect 3 port?
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was baffling. Arkham City, I can understand. You don't really need to have played Asylum to play City.
Yeah, but it's also a sequel. It's weird.
I mean, it is a sequel, but you don't... It's not like you're trying to import a save file into Arkham City.
It's like a game that was like a year old at that time? I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But the timing was really bizarre. And
yeah, it looks like that's what's going to happen with this
Here's the thing. The point is, say you're a fan of Nintendo franchises. Like, you like your Marios and your Zeldas. So you buy the console for the Marios, the Zeldas, the Metroids, what have you. Or you want to, but you need to sweeten the deal a bit. So say you don't own a high-end gaming PC. This sweetens the deal, right? Because you can play this popular AAA game that all your friends are talking about, in addition to the Nintendo franchises you love. And now you can justify the purchase to yourself.
And how about... just release those goddamn Nintendo games on the PC. That way, we'd all be super happy, and we wouldn't buy their fucking bullshit anymore.
Yeah, I guess Nintendo thinks that they control the market better this way. I don't know what they're thinking.
I mean, I don't like their gimmicky things. I think they're very flimsy. I think they're like 2-3 games tops that work very well with their gimmick. and then most of the games like underutilize it or overutilize it, and it's like not fun.
I do think, in the sense of the Switch, that it's that is not going to be quite the problem.
That's true. But they also like show a couple of games, use a little bit of that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be hard to tell how gimmicky it is until it's in people's hands.
That's true.
So, I mean, I'm willing to reserve judgment, but
I mean, I'll
Switch has to
probably
impress
buy Switch because I have a Wii U, because I wanted to play those goddamn Mario games and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I'll buy it, but I'm not quite sure when I'll buy it.
Oh, I'm definitely not getting it at launch, but for the first time in my life, I actually have money. So
that's kind of my thought as well, actually, at this point. But
yeah, so I might as well get one down the line
Mm-hmm.
once there are some games for it that I'm interested in.
I mean, I have money to burn, but I don't know if I want to burn them in this particular way.
then again,
you could buy more. Do you have a PlayStation 4?
I do have a PlayStation 4. Yes.
You could buy more games for that console.
Then again,
Yeah.
I'm a
Or-
sucker.
I mean, you could buy Knack.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I like buying new hardware. It's exciting, right? It's
there's
fun.
something that feels very exhilarating about
Yeah.
opening up a new console, setting it up, playing that first game that you've always wanted to play.
And as much as I like to bash Nintendo for this dumb gimmick thing, it's more exciting to buy a Nintendo console than any other because you don't know what the hell you're getting. It's like buying a VR headset. You're like, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna get with this, but I feel it's going to be kind of cool at least. Like, it's interesting. It's different than just another console, right? It does something different. And we don't get a lot of that nowadays.
I do think the Wii U,
for sure.
I do think the Wii U had enough games, at least on the first party front, that if I wanted to buy one, it'd probably be worth it. But then again, I'm kind of a Nintendo whore regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mario games and Captain Toad and all the little weird first party stuff. Alone, that would be pretty good. And I'm sure there's some third party stuff that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm not someone who thinks I must own 35 games for it to be a success.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I only own 3 games for my PS4 right now, and I'm happy with the purchase. I will be buying more this year. I mean, I'm getting Persona 5, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
God,
I mean,
God, half of me just saying, God, how gimped is the PS3 version of that going to be?
apparently not very.
Interesting. And I don't know.
It looks very similar.
Do you guys think that they're going to do anything for the PS Pro?
For Persona 5?
Yeah.
Almost certainly not,
Yeah.
because it was originally developed as a PS3
Yeah,
game.
that's what I think also. Like the PS4 version will probably have a 60 frames, and that's gonna be that.
It's not even running at 60 frames per second for the most part.
Oh,
It's
dear.
just slightly improved lighting and textures. That's about it.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, so it's probably one of the best looking games on the PS3,
Yeah,
but it's not impressive on the PS4.
yeah, but it has some like rock solid style. Like when I see it being played, I'm like, holy crap! This isn't like the most like graphically impressive thing I ever saw, but stylistically, it's like bar none. It's really cool looking.
It looks really busy, and maybe when I play it, I'll make sense of it. But it looks really busy.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
I just like the graphic design of the menus and like how like in transitions from battles, it looks
Mhm.
cool to me.
Right.
Yeah, they've really put a lot of work into making it look really nice and fit sort of the rebellious vibe of the game.
Yeah, it definitely the most like stylistic JRPG that I've seen, because those are usually
And there's this element of stylistic coherence between
Yes.
the game's narrative and
Yes,
what's
yes,
appearing on
definitely,
screen, which
yes.
is very welcome
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Yeah.
So, in terms of trends we're going to see, I think we're going to see this sort of these shorter promotional cycles for games, I don't think we're going to see too many, and the game is out now sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're going to see these sort of promotional cycles for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Are there any other things you guys think we're going to see in 2017 in the gaming world that you guys wanted to mention?
Oh boy, more Kickstarters probably, more early access probably.
I don't know about that. Mostly because I wonder if the bloom has kind of fallen off those things, like especially like Mighty Number 9 did not help. Neither did that Red Ash thing that Concept tried to do as well.
So what you're saying is that Keiji Inafune killed Kickstarter?
No, counter argument. Okay, people are dumb and like to spend money and stuff.
I suppose.
Yeah.
No, my favorite part about Mighty Number 9 though is that they forgot or they completely screwed up me putting my name in as put your name in the credits. So my number, which I totally forgot, has Mighty Number 9 backer. So my name is not in the credits, and I'm very happy about that.
Wait,
because you don't want your name associated with it?
I backed it. I'm an idiot. I backed that fucking game.
Damn it, man. What are you doing?
That was like 2 years ago.
Well, okay, hindsight 2020, I get that. But, okay, maybe it looked kind of okay when it was in the very early stage of production.
Oh, it looked so different.
That's true.
And it looked nice.
That's true.
They had this cel-shaded cartoon aesthetic going, and in the end they ended up with this shitty 3D look that barely looked okay on the handheld.
Proudly say I've never backed a Kickstarter, not even one. Never.
I backed a couple, mostly like Rift Track stuff and the MSC3K reboots.
I'm talking about a video game Kickstarter. I never backed any, but I'm particularly proud of not backing a video game Kickstarter.
No, that makes total sense. Yeah,
I mean, I've backed one Kickstarter and I backed 2 figs. I backed a Hat in Time.
Okay.
Which is finally going to come out this year. We'll see how good it is. The beta was very well received, so let's see if the final product is any good. And on Fig, I backed Psychonauts 2 and Consortium Dark Tower.
Psychonauts 2.
That sounded like a bit of exasperation at the whole Psychonauts phenomenon.
I'm not quite sure.
Double Fine to me right now is just like, hey, we got these ideas. God forbid if we ever going to actually create proper games for them.
That's it. I'm kind of afraid also for Double Fine when Brad Muir left the studio. He's a good designer. I think he was part of why that company was still making half decent games with very good ideas and very nice overall feel to them, but the gameplay was kind of garbage in most of them. Like
the first Psychonauts, I just don't think it's very the gameplay's any good.
Yeah, it's not. It definitely.
I disagree strongly with that. I think it's one of the tightest platformers out there. I know people really disagree with that. I think it controls superbly well.
Okay, so the jumping is okay, but the level design is. I mean, the look of the levels is great. Okay, but the ideas are great. But I got so kind of lost, and they were too long. The monster level was super long. The level for the milkman was super long and too boring at times. There's a lot of in that game that's not super great. And I think that's more or less what Double Fine does. It creates these interesting concepts, exactly what you said, and then fails to completely utilize them in gameplay. It's not.
It's like Brutal Legend was I would have rather played that game as just a full hack and slash, but no, it's let's make a goddamn real-time strategy game for some stupid ass reason.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, Brutal Legend is where they sort of lost me. I still think Psychonauts works really well for me.
Sure.
But Brutal Legend, they kind of lost me on the mechanics.
I kind of like the Costume Quest was okay.
But Costume Quest feels bare bones. It's baby's first JRPG.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I think the one game where they sort of fully realized their vision was stacking.
Stacking was fine. I didn't finish it, but it was fine.
I think it had such an interesting concept that it pushed the gameplay to decide, and there's not much to gameplay in that game. Like you basically just are like pretending it's Hitman but very simplified.
Yeah, for sure. It is a very simplified puzzle game, but it doesn't feel like it needed more depth.
No, it didn't. But if it wouldn't be for the that's the thing with all the Double Fine games. If it wouldn't be for the style and the the imagination of them, the gameplay wouldn't hold up. And I think
I don't know if I agree with that for that. I don't know if I agree with that for stacking. I think it has a very nice core central mechanic. They didn't add any accessories or bullshit to it. They just made it work. They had a nice aesthetic, and they have a fully realized product.
I don't know. For me, the most interesting...
With something like Brutal Legend, they just tried to add too much crap to it that didn't need to be there.
For me, the most interesting thing about stacking is its aesthetic. Like, the gameplay didn't really grab me. I was pushing through to the end of the game because I was just enjoying the aesthetic. And
that's fair.
Yeah. And that's how I have it with
For me, the mechanic works well. But, I understand. It's not going to appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
I think either they need to make these fully realized games. They need to make Psychonauts, these AAA games with big expansive worlds and lots to do, or they need to make smaller titles where they concentrate on a core idea and build on it very well. Sort of half-assing it like Brutal Legend, I don't think cuts it for them.
It's interesting what you said, because do you think that they're capable of doing a AAA game anymore?
I mean, that's why they got all the funding through FIG and external investors.
Yeah, I get that, but
2.
They seem like a very indie studio right now. I know that it's not exactly the case, but their games their games for the past couple of years were very indie-like. Like they weren't
right, but that's
big.
So they're putting out a lot of smaller projects instead of putting most of their stuff in one big project. Right. So they have like a third of the studio working on one indie game.
Yeah.
So I think they can feasibly do it. Whether or not the final product is any good, I have no idea. I think we'll find out more as production progresses.
Man, remember their Deep Space game fiasco?
Oh yeah, Space Space.
Space DF9 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah, they deserve to be raked over the coals for that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Man.
And I can understand why many gamers are reluctant to trust them.
Yeah.
I just think for the possibility of Psychonauts 2, I was super psyched. So
yeah, sure.
I foolishly threw in money, but we'll see what comes out. I foolishly spent money on existing terrible games before, rather than on the promise of terrible games. So this seems somewhat less like an insane thing to do.
Sure.
It's not like me buying The Fourth all over again. That's right. I bought that game, played through the entire thing, wanted to shoot myself at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, some games are just bad. Anyway,
that's how we're going to end the podcast.
We're going to end this podcast on Merve killing himself because of all the terrible games he's played.
Well, don't kill yourself, Merve.
Not yet. It's 2017.
Not yet. That'll be the season finale for this year.
Oh,
that's how they're going to end 2017.
I can't wait for the season.
Mark it. We are recording on January 13th, and he's already mentioned the season finale.
Yep. It's 12 months from now.
It's going to be a series finale. I'm going to go out with a bang.
Oh,
boom, boom. That's right. We really need a rib shot sound effect for this episode.
Maybe Kappa can edit half this episode.
Yeah, exactly. You guys can edit it.
Kappa can take out all the suicide jokes. Hopefully. And all the horrible humor. We did make a lot of dick jokes this time. I'm proud of us.
Yay us.
I try to put some decorum in this podcast.
Yeah, me too.
Seems to go away when I'm not on this podcast.
I'm a very classy man.
Yeah, we didn't talk about porn at all. I'm proud.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
We didn't talk about Sonic kissing a human, and for some people that is porn.
I mean, he can do a lot more than kissing a human.
My entire point, and I was trying to get across during the whole Mario discussion, was like, yes, Mario, it does look like Sonic 2016. You know what the big deal is? I trust Nintendo.
You mean Sonic 2006?
I trust Nintendo Like, they can do whatever the hell they want. Like, they haven't made a bad Mario game, like, at least something as bad as Sonic ever.
I mean, I know what the people want. I've been to the internet. I know what people want. I know what people want with Sonic, and I know what people know with Mario.
Please do not advocate Rule 34 in this podcast,
But
please.
have you been to the internet? That's what people want. Give them what they want.
We are currently on the internet right now. I'm currently watching a web stream caused by the internet.
Oh no, I'm trapped in the internet. Set me free.
Yeah, if you're at the stage where you're looking up Sonic erotic fan art, maybe get off the internet for a little while.
I'm watching 3 people play Donkey Kong Country 3 on the internet.
Set me free. I'm going to also join your season finale at the end of the year. Then
there will be no killing anyone.
You can fire the gun.
Oh, great! Fantastic. Then I will be trialed for murder.
Well,
thanks for the
you can say
present.
It's a video game. It's virtual murder. It doesn't count.
A couple of lives, your judge.
Maybe Kappa will return for that the one time in the season finale and kill all of us.
He just didn't press continue.
He'll kill all of us for recording this train wreck.
Yeah.
No, I've been on worse train wrecks.
Oh yeah.
Actual train wrecks. Hopefully not.
So I think it's time to call this episode to a close.
Yep, I agree. Let's go.
Yeah. We did great today.
Yeah, we did.
We discussed all about 2017. We're going to get a lot of great games this year. A lot of weird stuff is going to happen in the industry. Will people advertise more? Probably not. Those are the conclusions we've reached at the end of this podcast.
And also, some games are bad, and we're going to shoot ourselves at the end of this year.
Please don't shoot anybody.
No.
Please don't shoot yourself if you possess a firearm.
No one will die.
Kids listening to
die.
This, nobody.
This podcast is not encouraging you to die.
It's like The Ring. You hear this podcast, and in 7 days, you will die.
I don't feel really bad if kids listen to this podcast.
Don't listen.
Oh, it's marked as explicit on iTunes.
Oh, great!
Oh, great!
Thank God.
Yeah, we're up on iTunes now. That reminded me.
Oh my God!
That I have to tell you a bunch of stuff now.
Transition to the website.
If you'd like to keep up to date with the podcast, we have a brand spanking new website at avocadogamescast.wordpress.com.
Ooh.
The old Tumblr is still up if you want to follow us on Tumblr, and everything will continue to be mirrored to Tumblr. But the WordPress site is now the official Avocado Gamescast site, where we're going to post each episode along with a link dump that fact checks all our nonsense. And if there's an episode like this, trust me, there's a lot of friggin' nonsense there. Moreover, we are now on iTunes. So if you search for Avocado Gamescast on iTunes, you can subscribe to the podcast there. Unfortunately, for some weird reason, we can't upload the first 3 episodes to iTunes. I don't know why. So you'll have to go to our website to pick those up if you want to go back to the summer of 2016 and the salad days of this podcast. Anything else you guys want to mention before we end this?
Oh boy. Just that I'm going to be playing some PlayStation 4 exclusives in the next couple of weeks, like Uncharted and Ratchet and Clank, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Glad to hear it. Uncharted 4 is a great game.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we call this podcast to a close, PT? Final remarks?
Not particularly, no.
Excellent.
Begin with a bang.
Very profound final remarks from PT. Could not have put it better myself. So thank you for being on the podcast, guys.
Thank you.
We will see you, listeners, in a few weeks. Good night.
Kill the animals.
Ah.
Woo!